I give him credit. He's going for an MBA in business analytics.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Menard.
There's a whole bunch of quarterback grad students over the last 5 years.
They've got a lot. They've got a lot of transfers.
Yeah, he is both Bentleys and both New Haven's quarterbacks are both.
Yeah.
Grad students.
New Haven has 36 transfers on their active roster. 36.
Yeah, the number one, as compared, the number one thing you do at the end of the season now, if you're an assistant coach, the head coach says to you, go on the portal, find out who's available. Can you imagine getting 36 transfers in New Haven? What are we on, boss?
60 seconds.
60. All right.
Actually, are we about to roll in the answer, Jeff? How long do we have until the answer? We can do a whole report. Okay. He's a safety. Are we good to go over there? Yeah. You guys
It's a stunning Saturday afternoon here from just west of the great city of Boston in Waltham, Massachusetts, as it's a rematch of last year's NE10 championship game, and it has been a battle the last 2 seasons for the NE10 as the Bentley Falcons host the visiting New Haven Chargers here from newly named Peter Yetten Field. My name is Mason Stauff alongside Dick Ewell, ready for another all-time classic you would anticipate between these two rivals, Connecticut versus Massachusetts. And these two have been the preeminent favorites over the last couple of seasons in the Northeast 10 Conference. Dick, before we get into this one, both teams coming in off wins. New Haven in a high-scoring affair last week, knocking off Franklin Pierce 45-34. Bentley had a big halftime lead, and then we were able to see off a late Southern Connecticut rally. They won 34-24. But over the last couple of seasons, we've seen a lot of great matchups between these two teams.
Well, you have special teams may be the real difference in this football game. Khalil Eason had 2 punt returns for touchdowns. It was the gold helmet player of the week. He had a 94 and a 96-yard punt return, which is hard to believe. 231 yards in punt returns for New Haven. And Mason Campbell is 5 for 5. I can't tell you what a huge advantage it is to be able to kick a ball all the time. He's right on the money. 5 for 5.
Well, we pause for the national anthem, and then we will get you ready for kickoff between the Falcons and the Chargers here on NE10 Now and Flow. Captains meeting in midfield as the Falcons 3-0. Starting off the NE10 slate with that 10-point win last week against the Owls. 1-0 in NE10 play. New Haven is 2-1, their lone loss on the road in the opening week of the season against a top 15 ranked Slippery Rock team, 22-7. before knocking off Pace in the NE10 non-NE10 matchup. Week 2 before defeating Franklin Pierce, which is 0-3, but that's a good Franklin Pierce team. Best team they've had over the last few seasons. Bentley will see them later on in the slate. And so New Haven also 1-0 in the NE10. Getting ready to start things.
We have to give a shout out to Henry Schouten, which I did not do.
Oh, yes.
19 tackles last week. The defensive player, not of just the East, the defensive player in Division II football for the entire country. And he is a junior, and I thought I'd seen the best that Bentley had to offer over the last 10 years when Sal Lupoli was the inside linebacker. But Mr. Schouten, 19 tackles is a real day's work for anybody. So we will be watching him, and I knew he had a lot of tackles in the first half, but we didn't get a chance to acknowledge him, and we will. That is a game of a lifetime.
Bentley will start with the football. New Haven winning the coin toss, electing to defer to the second half. So kicking off will be the left-footed Josh Hamill. And Bentley with a couple of players back deep. They don't have Tejan Vassar anymore. He returned kickoffs not once but twice against the Chargers last season, but no turn required as Rashawn Bradford, speedy number 0, watches it go through the end zone for a touchback. So Bentley's offense will take the ball first. We mentioned Rashawn Bradford. He was an outlet last week for quarterback Brett Pullman and had an outstanding grab on a back corner end zone fade at the other end of the field. And that is the end zone that Bentley will try and score in early as Pullman, the senior captain, 6'4" out of Worcester, will get the opening snap with Vinnie Holmes to his right, the tailback. 2 receivers left, 1 right, including the tight end Damon on that right-hand side. Pullman back to pass, looking for the deep ball early, over the top, and it's going to be incomplete. There was some holding at the tail end of the play, but I think that was uncatchable anyway, looking for the run of Jack Ford.
No harm, no foul, but let's be honest. He grabbed his jersey and yanked him back. It looked like he got shot with a gun, the Bentley receiver, but he was overthrown, so it was no harm, no foul.
In addition to Holmes and Pullman, mentioned Damon, the tight end, the primary receivers, Oriaki number 3, DeSias number 13, and then the speedy Rashawn Bradford number 0, as Holmes gets the carry, wrapped up by 3 Chargers in Bumblebee yellow with gold helmets, blue trim, and the Charger logo emblazoned on both sides of the helmet. Brings up 3rd down and long. I'll give them 1, but they need to get to the 35, and they have 9 yards to do it. Pullman looks for the pass, had his man, but it's in and out of the hands just outside the fingertips of Nick Marciano, and it's 3 and out in the early going for New Haven's defense.
Well, 2 passes on the first 3 plays. As I said, when you look at these teams, they've probably found their identity. You want to be able to move the ball on the ground and then use play action. But they went deep on the first play. Let's just hope that they don't get field position here.
So Matt Richardson out of Brookline will be back to punt it deep to the always dangerous punt returner. Logan Schmidt's the punt returner. Khalil Eason is the kick returner. We mentioned Eason, that's going to take a hop. It's fielded there by Schmidt. Still dancing around past the 40, and he's wrapped up at the 43. Finally bringing him down was Walter Morales Jr. in special teams coverage, but it is going to be good field position for Dalen Menard.
You always have to hope that the first guy who's got a shot makes the tackle. If he doesn't, then it ends up a 10 or 12-yard gain, and that 35-yard punt becomes like a 25-yard punt.
Menard last week 16 of 26 for 264 and 3 scores, also threw a pick. Pulls back on play action, has his man across the middle, early first down into Bentley territory as the scrum moves him forward an extra couple of yards, and he's going to be inside the 40. One play, picks up a handful, close to 20 yards on the original play, and it's a good start for the Chargers.
New Haven using repo, fake the ball, and then hit on the quick slant.
To the left, Christopher Ace, the running back, 6 foot out of Stoughton, the senior. gets his first carry of the day, and he is going to be wrapped up in the backfield. Matt Dushman. We have seen Dushman and Schouten both win Defensive Player of the Week honors in the first 3 weeks of the season. This time it's the former Holy Cross Crusader who wraps him up for a short loss. Waiting in the shotgun is Menard. The graduate student now out of Fort Lauderdale steps back to pass. Short pass over the middle, off the hands of the tight end. Wide open over the middle was Evan Chieka. He was lucky there wasn't a waiting linebacker or secondaryman to pick that off. 3rd down and 11. Needs to get to the 28. Good completion on the opening play, but threatening to bring out the punting unit. And that's not going to find the intended target either. Trying to find Joshua Zamatz, the 5'11 graduate student out of Millville, New Jersey. And despite getting inside Bentley territory, this is much too long for a field goal, and here comes field position game. As in comes the punter, Luke Sylvia out of Newton. Dushman is back. If there is a return, there shouldn't be if you're a Charger. Very close to potentially being blocked. Dushman gets out of the way. It's going to bounce into the end zone. And that's not exactly the field position turn you want. That ball was snapped at the 38, and it's going to come out to the 20. So that's only an 18-yard swing, although there are some penalty flags down.
You were right, Mason. If you kick the ball from the 38-yard line, you kick it into the end zone. It is astonishing to me that he would not kick the ball across the field and try to get it inside the 15-yard line and go out of bounds. No return.
It's a penalty against the Falcons, so the defense is going to have to return to the field. Looks like somebody lined up offside, and so it ended up being a free play, and now the offense returns. So a reprieve for New Haven. It's still 4th down, but it's 4th and 5. They got to get to the 28. Penalties loomed large last week. Menard behind the play, very close to being picked off. It would have turned over on downs anyway, as it does. Almost picked off by the captain, Nick Pucillo, but it falls incomplete. And it ends up being an even worse situation for New Haven because they go for it on 4th down, they don't get it. Instead of the 20, it ends up being the 38, or the 33, I should say. After the 5.
We want to find out early in this game if Bentley, and their offensive line has been very good in the first 3 games. You want to give the ball to Vinny Holmes, and let's run the ball. There's one linebacker in the middle. We have to run the football right now.
4-man defensive line for New Haven. There goes Holmes. He's close to 1st down yardage. We'll see if they give it to him. If he's not, it's going to be 2nd down and very short. But this offensive line of Boutros, Plumer, Dowling, Galarza, and Lociato have been great. It is 2nd down 1, and Holmes isn't going to get there. He's going to get wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. We'll see where the forward progress gets him, but he did not get to the line, and it's 3rd down and 1. Chris Campbell, Jalen Fisher, the former Brown Bear, wrapping him up. It's a big play early in the game. 2nd down and 1 turns 3rd down and 1. 3 minutes into the ball game, no score. Pullman, the pass, knocked down by the always dangerous Jai Jenkins. Jenkins, who wreaked havoc last season out of the secondary, plays what is known on this side of New Haven as the hero. Part weak side linebacker, part nickel corner, and he knocks it down. And Pullman's out there on 4th down and 1. You don't get this, the momentum swings rapidly to New Haven. Pullman. And not going to get it. They tried to bring in the bigger Alex Barroway, and it didn't work. And after a 9-yard pickup on first down, New Haven stuffs them 3 times, and it's a turnover on downs the other way.
That is a momentum killer. Absolutely. You had 3 shots to gain 1 yard, and you could not do it. That sits in the mind of the Bentley offense.
Holmes stuffed on second down, the incomplete pass on third, and Barroway unable to barrel through on fourth. Ace gets 6 on the opening first down carry. Actually, looks like they switched things up, brought on Zayon Laney, 5'10 junior out of Hoboken, New Jersey. Still was able to get out to the 35, brings up 2nd 4. Bentley was looking to bring pressure, but did someone jump? They did. And we're going to go right back close to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 9 after all that.
Just throws you right off schedule. 2nd down and 2 or 3, and now 2nd down and 9.
Trips receivers to the left. Big receiver off to the right. It's a screen pass, complete to Mikey Caines, the former pace setter. And Caines is wrapped up on the play by DiPlacido. 3rd down and 2. You may be in 4th down territory again, because from this spot you'd still be looking at what is a 50-yard field goal. I'm not sure if anyone in this game has it. Although Campbell's come close a few times on the other side for Bentley, he's never hit from 50. And they're going to have a 4th. No! Pass interference comes in late. Target was Logan Schmidt. And the flag flew immediately. And will reduce to an automatic 1st down.
I would have to see that on replay. He drove through him. He didn't grab anything unless he made unbelievably early contact, and it didn't look that way.
It's college football, so that's a spot foul. Still 1st and 10. Now from the 20, we'll say 27-yard line. I think they'll spot it. Charger went spinning behind the play. That was Jaden Schwed. The rest of this offense, along with Menard and Ace, Caines, Schmidt, and Chandler, the primary receivers. Look out for Zoltan Panye as the big tight end, former Maine Black Bear. Then the offensive line is Cesare, Thomas, Pronome, Griffin, and Brown left to right. Shotgun snap taken, Menard, and that's incomplete. And we saw a lot of this last year when these two teams met here in Waltham early in the season. That was the non-conference game, and then they met in the final game of the season for what equated to the NE10 championship. But Mark Wade was 12 of 28 for Bentley. Menard was 9 of 30 for New Haven. So inefficiency in the passing game was a big part of it, and we're seeing that early on as well as it's 3rd and 7.
Yeah, they don't seem to be on the same page with the wide receivers, neither quarterback.
A little bit of a low snap handled by Menard. He's pressured, and he's completed it. Player came in unblocked, but Matt Chandler was open. Menard found him and was able to deal with the shot from Schouten on the back of it all. So 1st down. We'll see where it is. Is it 1st and goal? Or is it... Yeah, it is 1st and goal. Placed on the Bentley 7. And for the first time, quarterback stays in there and delivers one on the money. Menard to Ace, up the middle. those big defensive bodies for Bentley don't let them get anywhere, and you see the celebration from A.J. Norton Jefferson, the captain. Schouten was in there as well. You should just assume that Schouten is probably in there on most of the tackles. He is everywhere and has been. He and Dushman in the first couple weeks of the season have been outstanding. So no gain, maybe a slight one. We'll say he gained 1. So 2nd and goal from the 6. Ace still in there on the right hip. Triple receivers off to the left. Again, it's Ace, and he rumbles into the end zone, and New Haven on the board first. And then flags fly, but this is a post-touchdown penalty, you would assume. It is on New Haven. Now, depending on how they enforce this, this could make the extra point a little bit more interesting. Or the ensuing kickoff much more to Bentley's benefit. So we will see how this all goes. Josh Hamill, the senior from New Hartford, Connecticut, is in there for the extra point. Some trickery, but doesn't look like it's going to be anything other than your normal extra point try. Hamill gets a good hold and blasts it through the uprights. 7-0 New Haven. 5.5 minutes into this one. Or 6.5 minutes.
Well, field position, as I said, you want to be able to establish the ground game. They pick up 9 yards on a Vigneault, but then he limped off the field. And then they were stuffed 3 times in a row by New Haven. Got to clear that up. As I said, the Bentley offensive line has done pretty well. But this game is obviously going to be decided by who can run the football. Running the football, if you have to bring that extra safety down to help you stop the run, that's going to help you set up your play-action passes.
And with the excessive celebration penalty on sportsmanlike conduct, that will move this kickoff way back. So that is going to give a chance for Bentley's return game to show what it has. Remember, Tejan Vassar returned the second half kickoff for a touchdown in the first game and the opening kickoff for a touchdown in the second game between these two teams. But he's moved on. So it's Eamon Enda and the always dangerous Rashawn Bradford, number 0, back there for Bentley, as this kickoff is going to come all the way back from the 25. No, the 20, I should say. That's where that green tee is set up. Looks like they want a different football.
Now, again, you always have to say to yourself, this is a left-footed kicker. If you are where Mr. Bradford, he should be over halfway between the numbers and the hash. A left-footed kicker, when he tries to kick it too far, will hook it. There's no chance for a left-footed kicker to kick that ball down inside the 15-yard line if he kicks it to the wide side of the field. We need to get this and get it to the 40-yard line.
Oh, it's Bradford 0, Enda number 5 to his right. And we'll see just how big of a boot Josh Hamill has. He'll want to get this one a little bit high, give his kick coverage team time to get down there. In the air, floats up, will be Bradford at the 20, to the 25-30, going up the middle, now moves to the right, and that is outstandingly well covered. It's Christian Ace, the brother of running back Christopher Ace, who brings him down, shoestring tackle, and the fact that Bentley's only going to get this at the 30-yard line is a win for New Haven after the 15-yard unsportsmanlike.
It certainly is.
Christian Ace, 6'1", 195, like his brother out of Stoughton. Christian stands 1 inch taller, but 15 pounds lighter than his running back brother. Pullman, hands off. And there's space to move for Holmes. Holmes wrapped up in the open field. Brian Whitmore needed to make an open field tackle, and he did it. And deja vu for Bentley. They pick up 9 on first down. They get 1 yard away, and now they got to pick up the first. Holmes again. He'll get it this time. Rumbles to the 45, brings it across the line. Couple of Chargers where to bring him down, including Christian Ace and Chris Campbell. Transfer from Stony Brook. There are more than 30 transfers on this New Haven team who have started their careers somewhere other than West Haven, Connecticut. Though it should be known that the offensive line basically returns in its entirety. So everybody else is new for the most part. The offensive line consistent. Bradford in the flat. And again, good tackle coverage by Brian Whitmore. New Haven's not missing any tackles.
Well, I would say that New Haven has enough speed and athletic ability to probably get to the outside. But I'm I was known as a passing nut, but I'm going to give the ball to Mr. Holmes on first down. And we didn't make anything there. In fact, we ended up losing a yard. Give the ball to Vinny.
Holmes last week, 79 yards on 16 carries. Barroway, 56 on 9 carries. As Pullman launches one downfield, up for grabs, and it is grabbed. Plucking it out of the air is Nick Marciano to move the chains and much more inside the 40 of New Haven. Bentley on the move for the first time.
Good throw on the run.
Bentley moving quickly. Trips receivers left, 2 to the right. Pullman looks to his right, looking for the tight end. It's a short grab, but it still gets more than half the yards they need. That's the big, lanky Jack Ford, I should say, who was able to haul that in as he lunged for it.
I mean, they don't even have a linebacker in the box right now.
New Haven scrambling. Wide open man over the middle. It's Ford again. Still Ford to the 10. Very close to it. There is a flag down. I'm not sure if it's a flag or it's just a yellow cleat, as there's a lot of yellow out there for New Haven. But it is a flag, and that halts Bentley's momentum, at least for the moment. And they're picking it up. So Bentley on the move. 1st and 10.
One of the great mysteries in life, the pickup flag.
Bentley wants to snap this ball before the chains are even set on the far side of the field. Pullman takes it himself up the middle. He's got big, strong legs, and he takes it right close to the 5. 6'4", 240, Brett Pullman. He can run the ball.
When Bentley goes without a back in the backfield, there's no linebacker in the. Now there's one.
Holmes is lined up as a receiver, and that pass dangerous. The 2 closest players were Chargers, not Falcons. 3rd and 4 as they lined up Holmes on this left-hand side along with Bradford. Empty set with Pullman in the backfield. And they'll want a better play on 3rd down. Otherwise, you might have to roll out Mason Campbell for what would be a chippy for him. Holmes now moves to the right hip of Pullman. Damon, the tight end, lined up on this near side. Also Bradford. Pressure coming. Pullman looking for Bradford. Does he have it? He does. Bradford, the outlet again, battling with the secondary, is able to reach around, grab it, get the foot in bounds. Touchdown, Falcons.
That was some kind of catch. He was being interfered with and reached around and picked it off. That is outstanding play by Rashawn Bradford.
2nd week in a row where Bradford has made a heroic catch. And Campbell now on to tack the extra point and tie us up at 7. And he will do just that. And as we anticipated, the back and forth battle between Bentley and New Haven, it transcends through the seasons, and we're tied up with still 5.5 to go in the first quarter. So the defenses both force fourth down failed conversions, and both offenses then have touchdowns on their next possessions. But once Bentley got moving, got a couple of plays to go their way, and then once they went no huddle, New Haven was back on their heels.
Well, New Haven, when Bentley goes spread with no back in the backfield, there is no inside linebacker. There was no inside linebacker there, so Bentley came back and ran a quarterback draw that picked up 7 or 8. So they've picked up some information about the way that New Haven is going to play the spread formation.
And that's one of those things. You look at New Haven and the way that they set things up. They do have the Will Star and the Mo and the Mike and the Hero, all the different terms that unless you really know what's going on, the big thing is that when that happens, you will sometimes have no linebacker in the center, and you essentially have Jai Jenkins or Jalen Fisher who have to act more like a nickel corner than a weak side linebacker, and it left a hole, and Jack Ford made a big play in the midst of all that. Campbell knuckles this one. He did not catch it, and it's going to roll out of bounds for illegal procedure. That's a very rare sight from Campbell, but it's the second time in 2 weeks that he's kicked the ball out of the bounds. The first time it was on the other end of the field, and it bounced out, just got a bad bounce at the 1. This one, he just missed. So out to the 35, this drive will start for Dalen Menard, who started his career at nearby Boston College, played a couple of games for the Eagles, but has been ever present the last couple of seasons as New Haven looks to win another NE10 title and go to the NCAA tournament once again. Menard with 2 backs, hands off to Ace. Ace didn't have much. If that offensive line doesn't make a hole, Bentley's D-line is going to eat them up, and they have linebackers ready to pounce right behind him. Picks up 2. Might have picked up nothing, but Ace is big and stocky and able to create a couple of yards out of nothing. Zamat on this near side. 2 receivers to the left. It's Ace again. Up the middle, and there he goes. Ace to the 30, 25-20. He is gone to the end zone. A 63-yard dart. He may be big, but he can fly. Touchdown, New Haven.
Yeah, nobody from Bentley closed on him over the last 40 yards. That's a big back who can run.
Christopher Ace has been outstanding the last couple of seasons. Second team, or his brother was second team All NE10 last year. Ace wants to be on the All NE10 teams this season, and with runs like that he will be as the PAT is blasted through. But Ace, 76 yards, 2 touchdowns a week ago, has 63 on 1 play. And New Hampshire, or New Haven, I should say, I see the UNH in my mind, immediately does that wrong. But UNH retakes the lead 14-7, just 45 seconds after conceding Bentley's opening score.
We have not seen the Bentley defense give up a lot of big plays, and that one is a big play. And it'll get into your head when someone runs 63 yards off right guard and takes it right up the field. And I do not believe he was touched, Mason.
No. That's the first time in a long time I've seen Bentley's defensive line carved open like that on an inside run. Sometimes you can beat them to the outside, but inside, between those big D tackles and those linebackers, there is not usually a lot of room to move. Good on New Haven's O-line as this one popped up into the air. Bradford waves it off. Instead, it's Dushman. Dushman trying to take it back, was probably one tackle away from just having the kicker to beat. He still gets a strong return, but Dushman was so close to breaking one open. Bentley's going to get strong field position as they try and level us up once again.
Will this remind you of the old days of a prize fight when they're going to stand toe-to-toe in the middle of the ring and say, give me your best shot and see if I can take it, because the offenses here are really going after the defenses.
Pullman with Holmes to his right. They stack two receivers to the left, and then you got the big tight end over on the right-hand side. Now they move Bradford in motion. Bradford goes through, they hand off Holmes, and he's got nothing. Might have stumbled forward for a yard, but not much more than that. Bentley has been getting good pickups on first down, not there. Just one, and it's 2nd and 9. Now they move Bradford to the far side, bring Ford to the near, along with Marciano, who made that nice play on the running Pullman throw on the last drive. Snap to Pullman. Play action. Pullman almost wrapped up, stays on his feet, goes deep downfield. Bradford is the intended target again, but he overthrew him. Closest defender was Christian Ace. 3rd down.
There's always the temptation, and Mr. Pullman went and threw it. I think he probably could have run for 10 or 15 yards on that play.
And Pullman can run, had a 1-yard touchdown score last week. Had a couple of rushing touchdowns from close yardage last season as well. He is not Mark Wade with his feet, but he is still big and strong and can run with the football. Pullman finds the tight end Damon, but he is going to be upended short of where he needed to get to. That's good coverage by Chris Campbell, as Damon, the captain, was close, but not close enough. And is Bentley going to go for it on 4th and short again? I don't think so. Here comes Richardson. They were unsuccessful the first time, and that was from closer than this. And they're going to make the safe play, and I think the smart play, and bring out the punter. Although, that does mean that there's dangerous kick returners back there. Logan Schmidt, Khalil Eason does the kick returns on the kickoffs. That's the guy you want to really look out for. Dick mentioned him in the open. Richardson catches it, punts it away just before the 35, and that is going to go out of bounds, and we will see where the official spots this. I don't think this is as far down as Bentley wants it to be. Still walking, and it'll be the 31.
It's amazing how little mistakes play on your mind. He punted the last one, he took a swing at it, and he kicked it into the end zone, and they ended up only picking up 18 or 20 yards. So this time he's trying to kick it out of bounds, but instead of just letting the ball waft out of bounds with the wind, he actually turned his body that way, and he ended up with a short punt.
Dick referencing Luke Sylvia's first punt for New Haven. Both punters subpar efforts their first time out, as staying up and not letting the knee or any type of body part go down other than the hand was the number 2, Zayon Laney. And they did not rule him down, so he gets a first down. When he was originally hit, he was probably about 4 or 5 yards away from the first down marker, and then spinning and tumbling and somersaulting his way past the 40. Picked up 10. Menard hands off Laney again, using his smaller frame to duck underneath the D lineman past the 45, and again, a good pickup on first down. 5 yards picked up, 5 yards to go. As we approach 2 minutes to play in what has been a very entertaining opening quarter. 3 touchdowns, including a 63-yard rumble and tumble by Christopher Ace. 2 fourth down failed conversions. It's been great 13 minutes, that's for sure. Over the middle, caught by the tight end. I believe that's Hunter Lane. And sure enough, it is another former Holy Cross Crusader. Lane who played with Matt Dushman down the road in Worcester, now on the opposite sides of the football.
Wholesale changes here for the defensive line.
Be fun if we see a chance for Dushman to tackle his former tight end, as that one is incomplete. Laying the hit was Mark DiPlacido. It's a big play. 2nd and 10. The incomplete pass on first down after New Haven had done a good job running the ball on first down. They go to the air, and that brings up 2nd and long. We've seen that a couple of times the last couple of weeks, Dick, by Bentley and this time by New Haven. You're running the ball well on first down, but then you go to the air. And then a flag, and we're going to have a false start, and that's 2nd and 15. It compounds itself. If it's not broke, why are you trying to fix it?
Well, and I have been there as an offensive coordinator with it is very tempting when you've got all the spread formations and repo and all that. And sometimes you say to yourself, as Mr. Lombardi used to say, we only have about 6 running plays, and when they're working, we keep running them.
Chris Pinsintz calling the plays for New Haven on a dart, perfectly picked out to Logan Schmidt. And after it was 2nd and 15, they get it all back on one play. First down, New Haven, as we approach a minute to go in the first. That was on a rope from Menard to Schmidt.
That was on a rope, Mason. And that was a good catch because that ball was behind him.
And if it deflects off the hands, there were 2 safeties back waiting to pick it off. So Schmidt does a good job to bring it in. 1st and 10 from the Bentley 34.
That's a touchdown.
Menard has a man. Touchdown indeed. Mikey Canes, 20-7 Chargers. Canes, who had a touchdown last week, has another one this week. And the Chargers are laying it down early. 3 straight touchdown drives for the men in gold.
That was a great call. The inside slot receiver looked like he was going to go to the flag. All right? He gave it a juke move to the outside and then stayed straight ahead. And the safety took the entire, as we say in fishing, took the entire hook right down his throat.
So after, as somebody jumped again for New Haven, that's been the only thing that you can really fault for the Chargers, but they're saying it's against Bentley. Sure enough, Bentley's saying it's against New Haven, but I do think they're going to get somebody moving. And we're going to do this again. It's half the distance. It is indeed against the Falcons. They're still lining up for the extra point. But after a failed 4th down conversion on their first drive, New Haven has scored touchdowns on the next 3. And a Bentley team that has prided itself on stingy defense. In the first 3 games of the season, they held Westchester, a really good team, to just 17, shut out St. Anselm 3-0. And then Southern Connecticut, they were inside 20 until the final couple of seconds of that one. They have given up 21 points in the first quarter today on what is Falcon Weekend. And this sold-out Falcon Weekend crowd that is taken every spot in the bleachers, lined the entire beer garden to our right, and is still partying on the auxiliary turf field where Bentley women's lacrosse and field hockey plays to our left. They are silent at the moment.
Well, you know what you haven't called that it just came to my memory bank. They are not getting any pressure at all on Mr. Menard.
Again, when you have players like Dushman and Schouten and a defensive line that is used to, and many times owning the opposing O-line, that has not happened as New Haven. They are a different animal. There is a reason that they have won the NE10 these last couple of seasons in 2023, 2021.
Well, that was a long route. That ball was thrown as he was making his move back to the inside. But that's a 3.5 second route, and he could have had a bagel and coffee when he was throwing it.
And that is an outstanding boot as second touchback of the day, induced off the foot of Josh Hamill. And Bentley still have so much time, 45 seconds to go. We're only in the first quarter. But you feel like this is an important offensive series. You go 3 and out and give New Haven the ball back again with all the momentum. This could get ugly early. Can Pullman and the Bentley offense, being coordinated by head coach Saj Takar and CJ Scarpa, they need something here, it feels like. Pullman, incomplete, intended for Bradford as he went again on the RPO, pulled it back out of the chest of Alex Barroway and then threw it into the sideline. Liked what we've seen in the early going from Alex Barroway this season. Barroway started his career at Colorado State as a freshman, then made his way to Maine and now eventually to Bentley, as that one was looking for Barroway, but it floated up there, and he was lucky it wasn't taken back to the house by Brian Whitmore. That had pick 6 all over it.
Those are all short passes, but you have to be unbelievably accurate to make them work. They're just like long running plays, but it's got to be on the money.
Trips right, 2 to the left, spread formation. Pullman looking for Bradford. He's got him, and there he goes. Bradford. They're trying to track him down. They won't get there. The safety outlet for Pullman is there again. Touchdown, Falcons.
This is like in a Sunday afternoon with your family, and you're back playing football with all right? And the score's like 150 to 135 over 45. My. Mr. Bradford can run.
Yes, he can. We saw Christopher Race belt one out for 63. Now we see Rashawn Bradford get a touchdown reception for a similar amount as Campbell bludgeons it through. We have had 35 points put up in the first quarter. That drive, exactly what you want to see if you're Bentley. 15 seconds between the start of the drive, 2 incomplete passes, but it ends up being 3 plays for 75 yards and 7 points.
Both defensive coordinators are saying the same thing right now. Can we play either team with only one safety in the middle of the field?
That's a 75-yarder from Pullman to Bradford, but Bradford got that at about midfield, and then he did the rest with his legs. You mentioned the defensive coordinators. That's Matt Scott for New Haven and Miles Allis for Bentley, but they have not had the best days for their units. Now, these are good offenses, but the defenses have been put on notice early, as it's 21-14 Chargers, and we are in the first quarter still.
And it's amazing. Both teams are being tortured between the hash marks.
An inside run for Christopher Race, and that one right over the middle to Bradford.
So if you bring the extra safety down to help on the run, then you're vulnerable.
Watch this. It's going to take a bounce, retrieve there, and there he goes. It couldn't be. Not again. There he goes. There is a flag down behind the play. But after all that, Khalil Eason again is torching everybody to the 5-yard line. Now there is a flag. It's right down in front of us at the Bentley 34. Did not see what happened. It's miles from the play.
The Falcons are offsides.
That would make sense based on where everybody lined up. Eason very nearly his 3rd special teams touchdown in as many weeks.
If you were in Las Vegas, you'd think he's paying the dealer for the cards, right? How can you run? That's 300 yards in kickoff returns.
He averaged over 55 yards per return 2 weeks ago against Pace in a 47-17 win. There have been 14 points scored in the last 30 seconds.
There was 45 seconds to go in the quarter 5 minutes ago.
We could have 3 touchdowns in the final 45 seconds of this first quarter. Under center, taken by Menard. Ace trying to get in. He won't get there. Wrapped up by Matt Dushman and dragged down right at the line of scrimmage. Clock never started. Now it does. And this should run out the first quarter, so we won't have 3 touchdowns in the final 45 seconds, but we will set up a New Haven second down and goal from the 4 to start quarter number 2 in what was a rollicking first 15 minutes. 35 points, 5 touchdowns, an outstanding touchdown run by Christopher Race, matched by although both defenses did force fourth down failed conversions.
It is, again, sometimes you get into these games and everything you call works. But right now, if you have one safety in the middle of the field, the play action passes where they're going down, they're not getting any pressure on Menard. Bentley is allowing them to stand back there and throw, which is not good.
You're watching Falcon football on Flow Sports through the NE10 Now digital network. Mason Stalf, Dick Ewell on the call. An outstanding matchup, a rematch of last year's NE10 championship game, won in West Haven by the Chargers. New Haven has actually won the last 5 games in the series. The last 3 have all been one-score games. 24-17 in the finale last season, 14-13 early in the season here in a non-conference affair. That was one where Bentley thought they had it, but Mason Campbell uncharacteristically pulled a field goal left late to give New Haven a 14-13 escape. And then last year, 2 years ago I should say, here again, 21-13 New Haven.
I smell bootleg right now. He's going to fake the ball.
Well, he's going to fumble the ball. I think he fell back on top of it, but Bentley wants it. Do they have it? Could this be catastrophic? It is for New Haven. Hervé Shibamba recovers the failed fumble. I'm not sure if New Haven was trying to go bootleg, but whatever down, and I think New Haven just said something to the wrong official. There was not a Bentley player in the area, and I think as New Haven took the field, they said the wrong thing, and now not only do they get Bentley the ball, they're not even going to be able to have him pinned back. This is going to be 15 yards from here. New Haven getting in their own way. Not once, but twice in a matter of seconds to start the second quarter.
Bentley.
For punting the football across the field?
Yes. Unsportsmanlike
I think
conduct.
it was Mike Boutros. I thought I saw 77 lay into one. If that's the case, then it is half the distance.
No, he's going to pick it up.
Wow. And you can see on the far side, Chris Pinsence is losing his mind. I can't really blame him because it was obvious.
Yeah, he punted the ball. That's a personal foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
It was a very late flag, which is...
They only would have picked up 1.5 yards, though.
Still, and then, now they jump. This one is going to go against Wilson Frederick, the D lineman from Butler Community College. That is against New Haven, 5 yards, and it'll be first and 5. Or did they say Nope, there's the chains moving. First and 5 after that. And Frederick knew it. So Bentley gets out from the shadow of its own end zone. Ball now at the New Haven 9. What a swing on a bad snap. Handoff, Holmes up the gut.
You know, the problem when a quarterback is in the shotgun 75-80% of the game now is when you get under center, it's so unfamiliar, and you have to your hands have to ride in for the snap of the ball, and you see mistakes like that, especially in short yardage where it's very tight.
Pullman, shotgun this time. Bradford, he got it again. First down Falcons, was second down and 1, got more than enough. out toward the 25. Well, Patriots fans have been hearing how many months now that one of the main reasons they won't play Drake May is because he's so used to getting shotgun snaps and has to learn how to take snaps under center. Trips receivers to the right, 2 off to the left. Bradford in the slot on this near side. Damon on his right-hand side and the big Oriaki on the far side of the field, but there is a late charger coming off the field on the far side. Devon Colon was slow, and I think New Haven had to burn their first timeout because of that. So 2 timeouts remaining for New Haven. First timeout either team has burned today. We saw Southern Connecticut get burned last week in the second half. They needed to call 2 timeouts in the third quarter, and they handcuffed themselves late.
They would have had 28 points in the first 16 minutes of the game. Throwing away that touchdown. Rarely do you get the ball. Oh my! Inside the you got the ball on the 2 or 3 yard line.
And remember, that drive was set up because of a near 75-yard kickoff return by the dynamic Khalil Eason. But he got upended at the 5, and New Haven came out of that with no points.
Mason, the question is, Khalil cannot play running back for this team?
I'm with you. He is not listed on the top 2 of the depth chart. He's a return specialist at the moment, but boy, is he special.
He comes to practice on Tuesday and Friday. They practice kickoff returns.
Junior from Norwalk, Connecticut, Khalil Eason. They list him not as running back, not as specialist. They list him as athlete on the actual roster, which is very apt as Pullman gets swamped. He lost the football. That's great alert play behind everything to go and pick up that loose ball by Barroway, or else that could have been a New Haven recovered fumble. Instead, it's just a big loss, brings up 3rd and 12, but Barroway does save the drive.
Pullman took a shot on that play.
And then he gets right back up. They go no huddle. Pullman, you know he wants to find Bradford if he can. It's flipped into the air, and that was met perfectly. Intended target was Marciano. Chima Opara, the D-back, was there to lay the hit. Ball pops into the air and falls to the turf, incomplete.
Pretty good timing there. I know Bentley would like a pass interference, but the ball and the man seemed to arrive just about at the same time.
So Bentley, which got the ball after the fumble in the shadow of its own end zone, they do get it out past the 20 as far as the 23. But Richardson, who didn't have a clean punt the first time he was out there, will try and do better this second time and flip to the other side of midfield. On the long snap, Marciano. Richardson, better hang time, out to the 40, fair catch called for and made at the 42-yard line. Back there, Logan Schmidt to make it. Still good field position for New Haven, but plenty of hang time and no return.
I don't like to put too much importance on stats, but you'd say to yourself, on their kickoff returns, they have picked up more yardage on kickoff returns than some teams would do in 6 weeks.
And it's exactly how Bentley got their points last season when these teams met. Again, Tejan Vassar, 2 kickoff returns in the 2 games, but this time it's Khalil Eason who has lit up the Falcons in his 1 opportunity so far. They go on the handoff. Ace to the right-hand side. They let him go a long time. By the time those whistles were blowing, the defensive line had forced him well behind the line of scrimmage, but forward progress will take him for a gain of 4.
Now, it's interesting. They were trying to attack the perimeter there. Boy, you would think that they're just going to hand the ball off and run off left guard and right guard and run right at him. And they've actually been blocking Mr. Schouten.
Bentley with 4 in the line. And there is no one who's going to lay a finger on Laney before he gets to the second level. Inside the 45, down to the 40. And Laney has been a good change of pace back for Christopher Ace in this game.
When was the last time we saw Bentley's defensive tackles?
It's rare.
I mean, they are.
Dutton, Shabamba, Goodwin, DiMatteo, they are tough guys to move. And New Haven's done a good job with it. Menard looking for the end zone. Has a man. It's off the fingertips, incomplete. Trying to pick off Josh Zametz. And Zamat couldn't get it.
And the problem is, at the end of these plays, Mr. Menard is just standing and watching the ball. Somebody has got to get in his face, and someone's got to start knocking him down. Too much time.
Credit to this O-line. Sezier, Thomas, Prudhomme, Griffin, and Brown have given their quarterback all the time he's needed. Most of the damage has been on the ground, but it's been really good pocket play for Menard back there. They run it on second down. They pick up 3. And this could be fourth down territory. 3rd and 7 from the Falcon 37.
We still have 11 minutes to go, Mason.
Yes, we do.
Wow.
Menard in the shotgun. Looking downfield again. Has all the time, but not that much time. As coming behind the play to lay the hit, Isaiah Gomez, the transfer from Cornell. 4 years with the Big Red, won a couple of Ivy League titles, and now comes to lay the hit on Menard, and now they won't be able to go for it on 4th and 12.
Well, he had coffee and he had the regular meal, but when he ordered dessert, he got sacked.
Gomes just pursuing the 6'3 graduate student from right down the road in Dorchester. And a second time for Sylvia. He only got a net 18 yards on his first punt, and he's going to get it blocked on his second. Special teams. Dick, you mentioned that special teams would be big, and it just continues to get bigger and bigger. Recovered on the play by Christian Zamor.
Iwan Nada. Wow. They said 4 people off the left side, and they had 3 people that could have blocked it. And again, those 20. It's funny. If you coach special teams long enough, those 25 plays in the game, we've seen 4 special teams play that have turned the game completely around already.
Longtime special teams coordinator at Curry College to my left, Dick Ewell, as Holmes through the A gap, keeping the feet moving. Another strong first down run for Vinny Holmes. That's his 3rd time today. He's picked up at least 7 or 8 on a first down carry. Pullman, why change it? But that time it doesn't work. Holmes sandwiched up the middle. Combination of Jack Quander, the captain and the transfer from Rutgers, and Chris Campbell, the former Stony Brook Seawolf. 3rd down and 4. And now it's Bentley's turn to have decisions to make if they can't pick up the 4 yards they need. We've seen 35 points scored, but they were all in the first quarter. Pullman steps up the middle. He can run for the first down. He does. Tried to slide, but then leaned forward by accident and stumbles over Devin O'Malley. Gets the first down. I'm not sure if that was what he wanted to do, but it worked. Looked like he was trying to slide into second base. Pullman, empty backfield. Almost sacked, uses his elusiveness. He's still going to get brought down, but he was very close to the line of scrimmage, so I don't know if that's actually going to go in the book as a sack.
Boy, they are. It is amazing. New Haven, either on the scouting or said, when they're in the spread and there's no back in the backfield, they are not honoring Pullman as a runner.
And Jacob Galarza looked like he had maybe a finger injury. Pat Griffin will have to go in and replace him on that offensive line. Galarza, the right guard. Actually, Doesn't look like it's going to be Griffin, but it is a pass, and it is a potential touchdown. It's Damon, the captain of the offense. 21-20. And that was a good block by the newcomer Quincy Plumer, who came in at right guard, peels to the inside to find the linebacker, and that left Damon wide open over the middle.
If you give a good college quarterback enough time, boy, that was right on the money in stride.
And Campbell, an extra point away from tying us up. It's a line drive, but it is true. And Bentley has tied us up at 21. And the swing, a chance for New Haven, who were up 2 touchdowns in this game. They had a chance to get back up by a couple of scores inside Bentley territory deep after the long return by Eason. They fumble the football. And it wasn't on the next drive, but 2 drives later. A blocked punt and a pass over the middle to the captain, Damon. And we're all tied up once again, 21 all.
And you hate to say it, folks, but those 25 plays that you make on special teams, they have made a huge difference in this football game. Kicking, punt returns, kickoff returns, bad punts, all special teams plays. And again, in Division II and Division III, you may get 20, 25 minutes twice a week to talk about it, and it puts a lot of pressure on. But boy, they are big. Every mistake is a catastrophe.
Well, if you watch a lot of the NFL, you watch a lot of high-level Division I football, you may take special teams for granted. At this level, it is still a huge part of the football game, and what makes this game so much fun is you get unsung heroes, you get blocked punts, you get kick returns for scores. And we've seen it all in the first quarter and a half here today of the NE10 championship rematch. Campbell. It's a liner. It's fielded or then dropped, and they're just going to spot it there, as that one was mishandled by Eason. And it's not a fair catch, so it doesn't come out to the 25. They're going to take this inside their 10. That is a big swing.
Another special teams mistake.
And the way that one was going, it probably would have just rolled into the end zone. But he tried to field it at his shoestrings, and he failed to do so. And that puts New Haven back inside their own 10 at the 8. Menard to Ace. And there he goes again! Did take a little bit of contact, but not much, as again the offensive line creates a huge hole up the middle. All the way out past the 30, a 23-yard gain on 1st and 10, and Ace gives New Haven all the breathing room they need.
Boy, both teams are just going right over right and left guard. I wouldn't, no toss, no option, just run the ball.
And we anticipated that this might be a good running game, but we didn't expect it up the middle like this. Another one for Ace, another shrug tackle, another first down on 1st and 10 for Christopher. Out past the 40, a 12-yard run after he was 23. That's 2 carries on this drive for 35 yards.
Boy, it takes me back about 25 years. He looks like John Riggins. He gets through the line of scrimmage. The guy tries to tackle him at the second level. He shrugs off the tackle, or he's untouched.
Or if you're just a fan of Friday Night Lights, Tim Riggins. As up the center, and after a couple strong runs by Ace, they bring in Laney, and he can't recreate that. And you see, trying to pump up the crowd after making a nice play, was Hervé Chibamba.
So let us watch now. You've got to be very careful of a play-action pass. If one of those safeties up, they're looking for a guy running a skinny post. Be careful.
Loss of about a half yard. Second down long. Menard steps back again. The pocket's starting to collapse, and he overshot his man looking for Logan Schmidt. Well, if Bradford is the outlet for Pullman, Schmidt is the outlet for Menard. And he was open. He got a step on the safety, Andres Andujar. And Andujar and Nunez were very happy to see that fall incomplete.
He is 5'9", 140.
I was 5'9", 140 when I was 10.
Wow. Yeah.
I haven't been 140 in a long time. Menard. Over the center, nobody home. And you see a little bit of hand fighting after the play between Schmidt and Nunez. Nunez is a trash talker. That is abundantly known for anyone who watches Bentley football. I feel like as a safety, you almost have to be a trash talker, and Nunez is. As here comes the punting unit, and that has been a problem for New Haven. They have had a punt that's gone into the end zone. They were bailed out because Bentley jumped off. But then the blocked punt on the last possession completely changed the game, and since then it's 21-21. As that one booted into the air by Josh Hamill, and fair caught at the 30 by Dushman. So they have changed it up. Luke Sylvia replaced as the punter by the primary place kicker Josh Hamill from New Hartford, Connecticut. He got that one away nice and quick and clean, and Bentley will get it at their own 30, looking for the lead.
That's a big play by Dushman. He came right up. That's a short punt, and he fielded it, and he did not let it bounce. Good play.
Holy Cross is always a team that's had strong special teams as well in the kick return department. Dushman, the former Crusader, making his way just east down I-90 here to Waltham for his graduate season. And he's been great. Specialty or Defensive Player of the Week, Week 1 in the NE10 conference. Campbell was Special Teams Player of the Week that week. And then last week it was Schouten getting all the accolades as Pullman to Bradford in the flat. There he goes, but not for much. Maybe 4 on first down. But boy, Pullman and Bradford, you know who he's going to look for whenever he can.
You want to throw him the ball in every route that you can figure out.
He's listed at 5'9", 170. That might be stretching it a bit. As Ford went down, I think the legs just got tangled. No flag on the play, and even though some fans were calling for it, Ford himself was not. 3rd down and 5, maybe 5.5 for Bentley to pick up the first down. Clock halted, 5:26 to play in what has been a crazy first half, but it's a game involving Bentley and New Haven, and frankly, I don't think there's been a game that Dick and I have called that hasn't been insane over the last couple of seasons.
Now they have a safety limit. Now you'd think Bradford could just beat.
As Bentley calls a timeout, their first of the half. It is worth noting, New Haven, if they're going to defend this NE10 title, I don't know how the schedule got set up this way, but all the big games are going to be on the road for New Haven. They have to go to Bentley, obviously that's today's game, but they'll have Assumption and St. A's, and a Southern Connecticut team that pushed Bentley to the brink in the fourth quarter last week. All road games. The home games are the easier ones. Franklin Pierce, AIC, Post, and Pace, who they've already dominated 47-17. So New Haven is going to be very, very much favored in their home games, but the road games are all big tests. After the Bentley timeout, they have 2 left.
So they're not set up in the same formation.
They bunch everybody tight to the formation. Holmes out there in the flat, and Pullman was trying to find Damon, massively underthrew it, and it was very close to being picked off the turf by Jai Jenkins, who we haven't said his name a lot, but you usually want to avoid number 8 in gold in that secondary. Jenkins, who had a pick 6 last season, had an interception last week against the Ravens, and it's Richardson who will come in to punt it away. Schmidt back deep to return. Richardson heels on his 21. Long snap to come from Marciano. It's a good one. Richardson gets it away. High booming kick. Fair catch called and made at the 31. And Richardson about 40 yards on the total hang time. Very different second quarter than the first quarter. But Bentley with the only points of the second frame. And they have tied this one up at 21. Assumption 35-7 winners last night at home against Post. We'll take a look around the NE10. When we checked just before the game, AIC was trailing Ferris State, one of the preeminent powers in Division II, 56-zip at half. And it was tied 14-14 between Southern Connecticut and St. Anselm up in southern New Hampshire. Laney, first down carry, gets first down yardage.
Boy, once he decides to make his move into the hole, he steps on that outside foot and he is gone.
Very different in running style to Ace, but both very effective. Laney a little bit smaller, a little bit quicker. Ace is just a freight train. Moving at max speed, another poor snap. That's a great grab, and Menard over the middle finds Schmidt. That was almost a disaster. And one-hand pickup by Menard, and then to have the wherewithal to pick out the receiver in the process.
Well, everybody has gone to that style that the Patriots made famous. You put a good receiver in the slot, you run him across the field, you dare the defensive back to stay with him.
Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, outstanding at that over the years. And then you had tight ends that were better receivers than anyone else's receivers as both teams start to get into it a little bit. We knew this would happen. Rivers makes a play. You have the Rivers faithful about 7 or 8 yards away from us, right dead center of the field, the Rivers clan. Supporting Joe, the captain. Gain of 3 on the first down play. Second down 7, needs to get to the 33 with the clock ticking inside 3:30 by the time this ball is snapped to Menard. Moves the running back Ace from his left hip to his right, and somebody jumped. Third false start of this first half for New Haven. And from 2nd and 7 to 2nd and 12. See if the Falcons can get any pressure on Menard. They've only been able to get to him a couple of times, most notably Gomes hauling him down to force the 4th down for the sack a couple of drives ago. Menard steps back, again a clean pocket, goes to the end zone potentially. A lot of contact. Dushman, I'm not sure if he got the head turn, but met the receiver right as the ball got there, and the official keeps the flag in his pocket. Intended target was Zaman.
Too much time, Mason, for this kid.
Offensive line again.
It's like flag football. Unfortunately, no one's taking his flag.
Nope. But it's still 3rd down and 12. They stay to the ground, and Ace, who has been doing such a good job of running up the gut, is only able to pick up 2.5, 3 yards. This would be a long 4th down try. The offense is still out there for the moment. This would be 4th and 9. And with 2:40 to go in the first half, if you don't pick this up, Bentley is going to have the ball with plenty of time.
What would the theory be behind not punting the ball here?
And you can't even really go hard count Looks like that's what they might be doing, but even if Bentley jumps, it only becomes 4th and 4, not a first down. Play clock at 25. They needed to hard count this for a long time. But maybe that is what they're doing. They're going to try and see if they could hard count the Falcons. No, they're letting the clock run down. And speaking of the clock, it just went out of power. So technical issues with the clock, but they were just trying to seep this play clock down to the 2-minute timeout. Officials do have the official clock if they need to. So they were taking this down to the 2-minute timeout, and then they will probably roll the punt unit out there, you'd think. So that is the 2-minute timeout. When the clock froze, there was 2:13 on the game, 19 on the play clock. So that was the play for New Haven the whole time. Just let it seep down. Bentley electing not to call one of their final 2 timeouts. So they will get this ball back, assuming the punting unit comes out with just under 2 minutes to play and 2 timeouts to work with. They could have had 1 timeout plus the 2-minute timeout and about 2.5 to go. So an interesting decision not to burn one by Coach Takar. Now there have been plenty of short, quick drives, so 2 minutes, they've scored in less than that. The shortest of which 3 plays, 75 yards, and all of those yards coming on 1 play to Rashawn Bradford.
We want a replay of the last 45 seconds of the first quarter. Holy cow.
And the first 10 seconds of the second quarter, which was the fumble off the snap, where New Haven had a chance to get back up by 2 scores, couldn't do it. Punting unit is out. Once again, it's Josh Hamill, who came in relief of Luke Sylvia, who had 2 tough punts. One of produced the change. Dushman back to receive. Hamill, a little bit of a side swinger, takes a bounce at the 15, rolls, and New Haven is going to let this one go. It takes a little bit of a bounce back, but it will be taken at the 6. And so Bentley is going to have 1:50, but 94 yards and 1 timeout. New Haven will get the second half kickoff after they deferred upon winning the coin toss to start the game. It's a gorgeous day for football here just west of the capital city. Temperatures in the 70s, clouds, beautiful sunny skies. Great day to hang out with friends, family, and watch one heck of a game. See how aggressive Bentley gets. They've got time, but the field position not in their favor. Holmes on the left hip. Only 1 receiver out wide left. Holmes carries it. Gets a good chunk of yards. 6 on first down. And Bentley, they've been good when they've gone a little bit more hurry up in this first half. Waiting for the ball to be spotted. 90 seconds to go until the break. Damon is tight to the formation. So too Jonathan Oriaki. On the far left-hand side, 1 receiver waits. Holmes doesn't get the handoff. It's play action. They go deep. Oriaki's there. Oriaki makes the play, and Bentley's in business. To the 40-yard line. Falcons are going to not use a timeout yet. They've got 2 of them.
Why would you not have 2 safeties in the middle of the field?
And that has been the big complaint by a lot of NFL teams of the 2 high safeties. New Haven doesn't have them, and they get burned. Pullman in the gun. Almost throws an interception, instead finds DeSias. That was a dangerous pass. It leads to a completion, but that should have gone the other way, it felt like.
Now the guy to watch here is Pat Fallon over the middle of the field.
Damon, the tight end, is the target, and he dropped it. Got hit. Coming up from the linebacker spot is Campbell. jars it loose, 2nd and 10. Clock stops with 44 seconds to go. Bentley still has 2 timeouts. They obviously don't need to use one here. Campbell's career long is 47. He's done that a couple of times last season. Play clock now starts to roll down from 25. They stack Damon tight to the formation.
Left guard, they're going to give it to Vinny off left guard.
And instead, Pullman drops back, and that's a good hand out there to deflect it away from Devin O'Malley. Again, they were trying to find Damon. Also in the vicinity was Marciano. 3rd and 10. And if Bentley doesn't get anything here, it would be a career-long try if they roll out Campbell. This would be 48 from this spot.
He's in the slot.
They bring everybody tight to the formation. Holmes goes out left. Pullman to Bradford. Who else? Bradford trying to get to the outside. He's not going to get to the first down, but he's going to get close. Picks up 9, I think. Needed to get to the 21, and they're going to force him out at the 22. Clock rolls with 33 seconds, and Campbell is headed onto the field. So again, it's Pullman to Bradford to pick up 9 yards and make this a manageable field goal for someone of Campbell's talents. It's still close to a 40-yarder. It'll be 39, but Campbell has made this plenty of times. And now they will move him back to the 40, as down to hold it is Billy Osborne, the backup QB. And it's blocked. New Haven recovers, and another special teams play, and a half that has been chock full of them. Campbell had no chance to get that one over after the penetration. And it's 21 all still.
This will be the teaching video for special teams coaches in the near future.
Campbell, they only gave him about 5 yards, and Osborne moved them back another yard, but still, normally it's about 7 yards back from where you snap the ball to where you have the field goal unit lined up. And that gave New Haven that little bit of extra time to close in on the gap, as a knee is taken by Menard, and that will take us to halftime, all even at 21 apiece. It was 21-14 New Haven heading into the quarter. Chargers were driving after a 90 or a 70-plus yard return that brought it inside the 5 from Khalil Eason, but a fumbled snap by Menard turned the ball back over. New Haven does not score in the quarter. The only touchdown recorded by Bentley as Damon hit over the middle from Pullman. So Damon, Bradford involved heavily in the early going, as Bentley able to draw even with New Haven. And if the second 30 minutes are anything like the first 30, Dick, we are in for a crazy game to finish this one in Waltham.
It has been a wild and woolly football game, and that's why they play them, because you never know what's going to happen. But it does point to the fact that field position and special teams have been absolutely monumental in this game.
Okay.
And when you fumble the ball on the 3-yard line going in, it would have made it 28-14. It would have put a tremendous amount of pressure on Bentley and the play calling for Bentley to try to get back in the game. And they hand it back, and Bentley's able to tie the game up at halftime. And as far as anyone's concerned, except for the special teams coaches and probably the defensive coordinators, it's 0-0, right?
Well, through 30 minutes, we have had ebbs and flows, massive plays in both directions, and we have it all to play for in the second half. We will take a break. We'll come back in a little bit, break down the first half, give you some stats, and get you ready for second half action here in Waltham on a beautiful fall day. The score, Bentley 21, New Haven 21. This is Falcon Football on the NE10 Now Digital Network and Flow Sports.
You and I don't get cheated.
No,
We don't get cheated.
What's up, Mason? How you doing? Good, how are you?
And that wasn't even close on the block punt. He took it right off his foot. They had 3 guys that could have blocked that.
You know Dick hates this. There's no way Dick wants to be out there right now. He hates this.
Wow.
55 years, something around there?
I told him I've been a college football coach for 40 years, and he goes, "You're in kindergarten." We saw long passing, long running, block punts, kickoff returns. Holy cow, Mason.
Fumbles, passes that should have been intercepted.
Unbelievable.
I can never tell because now I'm looking. Yeah. Yeah. The kicker just nailed the whole Oops. Just absolutely right there. We can see who's like. Bang. Soccer win.
We welcome you back to Bentley University here in Waltham, Massachusetts. It's halftime in a rematch of the Northeast 10 championship game from a year ago. And nothing to decide the teams through 30 minutes. Bentley 21, New Haven 21. Back with you for the little halftime report. Mason Stauf alongside Dick Ewell. And as we take a look at the stats, there was a whole lot of stuff going on in that first half. Bentley's Brett Bowman, 12 of 22, 205 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, including a 75-yarder over the middle to his favorite receiver, Rashawn Bradford, who's 1 yard away from the century mark. 5 catches on 9 targets for 99 yards and 2 scores. It was great seeing him over the middle, and we saw his speed, but that probably wasn't even the more impressive of the 2 touchdowns, Dick, as the first one, he was being interfered with in the back of the end zone, reaches around the safety, and somehow hauls it in for the touchdown. We've seen him a couple of times now in these last couple of weeks, and boy, Rashawn Bradford, he may not be the biggest guy, but he is fast and he is incredibly skilled.
Yeah, it's funny. You would think that Bentley, after seeing him play for the last couple of weeks, would be absolutely would want him on bubble screen, quick screen, bubble screen and go, because he has got acceleration. I mean, he's got Division I acceleration. But it's been a very interesting game. The running game has been old-fashioned over left guard and right guard for both teams. The passing has been, if there's one safety in the middle of the field, then they've been able to hit some very deep balls between the hash marks and have a little bit more difficulty hitting anything down the sideline. So you've got defensive coordinators trying to figure out, if we can't stop the running over inside running, we have to bring the other safety up and help us, give us some run support. But that leaves us only one safety in the middle of the field. And against somebody like Bradford, who is, when he's in the slot, he's going against a tight safety or a free safety. No one's going to stay with him. Absolutely, you can't do it. And the running for New Haven, he runs like a Mack truck, Mason.
It's been impressive. 21 carries as a team, 158 total yards, and even just going inside the Daner Center behind me and overhearing some of the players and the defensive coaches, they were fired up, understandably so. Maybe a tie game, but the defense, not what it needs to be, particularly against the run. Christopher Ace, 11 carries for 115 yards, 2 touchdowns, including a 60-yard rushing touchdown right down the middle, untouched to the house. Zayon Laney's been a great addition as well as the change of pace back. 7 carries, 49 yards. So he is averaging 7 yards per carry, and Ace is averaging over 10 yards per carry. On the ground, New Haven doing the damage. In the passing department, Menard, 7 of 16, 113 yards and a touchdown pass. That touchdown was a wide open look as well, as he was able to pick out Mikey Caines for his second touchdown in as many games. Caines, the leading receiver, 3 catches for 59 yards in that 34-yard touchdown score. Schmidt with 2 catches for 32. Bentley, of course, led by Bradford's 5 for 99. Jack Ford, 2 for 24. Jonathan Oriaki only had to make 1 catch, but it was that deep ball that almost set up Bentley's final score. But Campbell's field goal from just over 38 yards was blocked. In the first half, that saw a long rushing touchdown, a long passing touchdown, a 70-plus yard kick return that set up 1st and goal from inside the 5 for New Haven, but they fumbled a snap to start the second quarter and could not score. We saw a blocked punt. We saw the blocked field goal. We've seen a whole lot of a lot in the first 30 minutes, and we still have a full second half still to go. Defensively, Andres Andujar and Mike DiPlacido, 5 tackles each for the Falcons. Pasillo and Nunez with 4 apiece. The leading tacklers, Chris Campbell and Devin O'Malley for the University of New Haven, 6 each. Whitmore and Dante Kiat each with 3 tackles as well. Both quarterbacks sacked 1 time, but you would say Pullman has been under much more pressure of the 2 quarterbacks compared to Menard, who outside of the 1 sack by Gomes has been relatively undisturbed back there for New Haven. We are ready to start the second half. New Haven in their road gold uniforms, the Bumblebee kits, blue numbers trimmed in white, gold helmets with the Charger logo on either side and blue numbers front and back. They will attack the end zone off to our right in this third quarter. Bentley in the home blue uniforms, white numbers, black helmets, with the Bentley B etched in black as well on their dark helmets. They will go right to left in this third quarter. Mason Stauff, Dick Ewell, second half action, Bentley and New Haven about to get underway here on the NE10 Now Digital Network and Flow Sports. Campbell trying to boot one. Eason fields it at the 12, runs into his own man, and he's still trying to make something happen. Ends up losing his footing at the 20. And we'll see who gets credited for a tackle. Looked like Justin Williams was the closest man to it. So a 9-yard return, 1st and 10 from the 20 to start for the visitors. Both teams trying to get to 2-0. Mentioned Assumption getting their first win of the season in NE10 play. They had the bye last week. They knocked off Post 35-7 in the night game last night. Take you around the NE10 as this drive goes along. But first, it's Christopher Ace. Mentioned over 10 yards per carry in the first half. He's not going to get much there. And then behind the play, you see on that far side of the field some extracurricular activities taking place. The officials will talk to him, but no flags fly. 2nd down, and they're going to say 11, loss of 1 by Ace, and that's a good start by Bentley's defense.
Well, they ran him outside. You would think, after seeing the first half and all these runs that he made over inside, you'd live and die by that.
Passing play, Menard to the outside, got his man Zamat, but not for much, as there's Matt Dushman there to wrap him up in the open field. Third down. Bentley trying for a quick 3 and out. 3rd down and 5. 30-yard line is the line to gain. 2 receivers to the left-hand side, 1 to the near. Dushman trying to match up man-to-man. Costly when it's happened, and this is going to make it 3rd and 10 and bring up an obvious passing down, you'd imagine, for New Haven.
Well, when you're inside your own 20-yard line and a 5-yard, now the route, any route that you run has got to be run like 12 yards.
Menard, again with good pass protection, goes deep, has his man, it's Schmidt. Schmidt is rolling inside the 15, eventually gets dragged down by the covering safety, Andres Andujar, but another broken play defensively as Schmidt outruns the coverage and hauls it in for a huge gain.
Too much time. They have not been able to pressure him at all. The only sack was a quarterback sack. He took like 5 seconds to throw the ball, and he got sacked. You cannot let him stand back there and throw the ball like that.
A Bentley team that usually is able to bring a good amount of pressure hasn't been able to today. Ace rumbles over his own man, trying to create a hole through his own offensive line. Schouten was there. Still more than half the yards needed. That's a 7-yard gain with really no contact off right tackle. 2nd down and 3 on the Bentley 5. They can get inside the 2-yard line for a 1st down. As we approach 3 minutes gone, New Haven looking for the early score, but nothing up the center this time for Christopher Ace, and you see the pumped-up Bentley defense led by the captain, Nick Pisillo, who was in on that tackle. 3rd and 3.
If they have a bootleg pass where they can fake the ball to Ace, look out.
They bring in Laney, so Ace is out for this play. Laney on the right side. It's trips receivers left, including the big tight end in the slot. 1 receiver right. Menard looking for that tight end. Broken up by Andujar. 4th down. And we will see if New Haven brings out the field goal unit. There is a Charger injured on the play. It's big number 62 who's down, Samson Faulkner. Signaling to the sideline, he's going to need a sub as he goes down to a knee. So an injury timeout on the play is Faulkner, 6'3", 305, out of Fitchburg, Massachusetts. And the training staff comes out. 4th and 3, so gives New Haven time to decide if they're going to get greedy and go for it on 4th down inside the the Bentley 5, or if they're going to bring out the field goal unit for a chip shot. Gives us an opportunity to look around the NE10. Assumption 35 post 7 last night. Assumption had the bye last week, so they're 1-0. The one non-conference affair today is perennial powerhouse Ferris State against AIC in Springfield, and that's an ugly one. Final 84-7 Bulldogs. And Southern Connecticut leading on the road at St. Anselm 21-17 early fourth quarter. That would be a big win. St. Anselm 1-0 after last week. One of a few teams who started 1-0 along with both of these teams and the setters of Pace and now Assumption. Not a lot of windows of opportunity if you lose early in the campaign. So St. A's trying to bounce back at home, but they're down by 4. Menard on fourth down, got his man. It's close to the end zone. They're going to give it to him. It would have been a first down either way, but it's a touchdown. Mikey Caines, his second reception in the end zone today, and that is a huge swing. They go for on fourth down, and they get the TD to Caines, 27-21, PAT incoming.
Too much time. He double pumped, waited. I mean, you have to cover somebody for 4 seconds inside the 5-yard line. You're just not going to be able to do that. And he was still closely covered. It had to be a perfect ball for a touchdown.
So Menard finds Caines for his second score today. Hamill, the left-footed boot, is good. Hits that into the woods behind the beer garden. And New Haven regains the lead. All the scores today have been touchdowns, and New Haven has not trailed. But Bentley has seemingly had an answer more often than not. Very often, Pullman to Bradford has been the safety blanket for the Falcons. And special teams has been a huge part of this game. Dushman and Bradford back for Bentley, trying to spring a big return. We've already seen Eason get one big return 2 weeks after he scored twice on special teams. Set an all-time record, over 200 yards in special teams yards in one game. Very nearly broke open for a score. So Hamill to kick off. Dushman and Bradford heels on the goal line. 3.5 plus gone in this second half. New Haven back up by 7. And so again, it'll be Pullman in the Bentley offense. Saj Takar, in his second season in charge of these Falcons, has led them to a 3-0 start. Very different from last year. The first couple of games last year, all tight. Bentley could not win them. This year, all the games are tight, but they've come out victorious for a 3-0 start. The only team in the NE10 that has yet to suffer a defeat this season. Pullman in the gun. Holmes gets the handoff and gets Little on first down. In on the tackle, Devin O'Malley, the linebacker, number 4. So too Chris Campbell. Second and 10. Falcons looking for another answer. Empty backfield, trips receivers right, Damon the middle of the 3, the tight end, and then 2, including Jack Ford to the near side. Pullman looks for Marciano, has him, but there's very little there again. Picks up maybe 3. No, it's a loss of 3, excuse me. As that was behind the sticks. They give him a loss of 2, but it's still 3rd down and 12 for the Falcons, moving backward rather than forward.
Yeah, when you're going to run quick screen to the short side of the field, you've got to block somebody.
Pullman, you know who he might try and find. Instead, it's Marciano across the 40, and then a big hit. No flags. Fans want it, but it doesn't really matter. The Falcons got what they truly wanted, which was the first down. A 20-yard pickup from Pullman to Marciano. Haven't seen a lot of Marciano this season, but we've seen a lot more of him today. Pullman on the quick play. Bradford dropped it. And luckily it's split between two defenders, Jai Jenkins and Devin O'Malley. And you saw Jenkins clap his hands as if to say, ooh, that was close.
Somebody upstairs must have just seen, if you fake the ball to Rashawn Bradford on a quick screen, whoever, in that case our tight end, Mr. Damon, was running free right down the middle of the field.
And they've hit Damon over the middle of the field for a touchdown today already. Pullman, hands off, not much for Holmes, as both teams have been much improved in the first 5+ minutes of the second half, defending the run up the middle. Halftime adjustments paying dividends in that area. But again, Bentley faces 3rd and long. They converted on 3rd and 12 with the 20-yard pass to Marciano. Get a couple new bodies in there. It's still Holmes on the hip of Pullman. Bradford in the slot near side. So to DeSias. He goes to the opposite side. It may be caught by Oriaki, but he's going to be short either way. They say it is a completed pass at the 49 of New Haven. It'll be 4th and 3. And what does Bentley try and do here? They've gone for it on 4th down from a similar distance in the first half. They didn't convert. That was a 4th and 1. This is 4th and 3. The offense is out there still. Gutsy, gutsy, gutsy for the Bentley Falcons if they go for this. At midfield, electing not to play the possession game, they go for it all. Pullman to Damon. He's got it in the first down. Gorgeous play by Pullman, rolling right and then found Damon across to his left uncovered, and the captain hauls it in on his fingertips and moves the chains.
Well, that was a great play by a right-handed quarterback. He was running away from his arm, and he actually got the ball away. He was under pressure. Heads-up play. So
Bentley converts on 4th and 3, and now Pullman hands off to Holmes, and once again, there is no hole to be found as he tried to move toward the center and to his right and loses maybe a half a yard. Another 2nd and long upcoming. That's 3 straight. But it hasn't stopped Bentley's drive yet. As we approach the midpoint of a 3rd quarter that's moving a lot faster than the first half was at this stage. Damon might need to move back a little bit. He is very close to that football. They let him stick with it. Pullman has the ball deflected, and it's almost picked off. Trying to hustle in to make the play was Chris Campbell, and the Falcons are very happy to see it fall to the turf. 3rd and 11. You really need to get almost, well, the sticks would make it a 47-yarder. So I don't see any real way for Bentley to go for a field goal here from this distance. Pullman again under pressure, hoists it up for 4, and he's not going to get there. 3rd and 11. This would be a 58-yarder. Campbell doesn't have that in his arsenal unless I am massively surprised, and here comes Richardson to punt it. So Bentley converts on 3rd and 12 and 4th and 3, but the drive still ends in a punt. And Richardson, you have to get this inside the 15, even better the 10-yard line. Punting from the 41, he is back on the Bentley side of midfield on the 46. Marciano to snap it back. Richardson gets it away. It looks good. This should bounce. It's going to take a New Haven bounce out to the 20. If that got the Bentley bounce, it would have been to the 10. It doesn't. And you would have liked a little bit better. It's to the 20, just as it would have been had it gone into the end zone for a touchback.
You always wonder, if you're a right-footed kicker and you're trying to kick the ball, you want to kick it across the field. toward the numbers, and it stays up in the air, you can kick it as hard as you want because you're adding an extra 10 or 15 yards to the kick. I don't know why you would kick it to the short side.
On the carry, it's Zayon Laney again. So starting with Laney, been very impressed at how Laney has been able to spell Christopher Ace with pretty much the same level of effectiveness. Again, 7 yards per carry in the first half. Those numbers have gone down a little bit in the second as both defenses have been better up the gut. But still, Menard has had all day when he's dropped back to pass. He will hand off again. Laney, he's got a hole. Laney to the 50, to the 45. Only one man to beat, now two men. Cuts back, and on the retreat, he is wrapped up by Rennie Nunez, but Laney found a hole and just kept on running all the way down to the Falcon 29.
We have to take our hat off to the left and right.
Make it a 23.
For New Haven. The amount, he was untouched again for 15 to 20 yards.
That would be John Thomas and Jordan Griffin who are getting the accolades. Offensive linemen don't often get them, and they very much deserve them.
Which means they're handling the defensive tackles, and the center is being able to get up on a linebacker. That is, I haven't seen that happen to Bentley in a long time.
Laney gets one as we will tick inside 5.5 to go. New Haven has been up by a couple of scores in this game, trying to get back up by 14, or at the very least 10 if they had to settle for a field goal. Ball on the 22. Did see Josh Hamill making them from close to 40 in the halftime break. Ace.
Boy, he can drive the pile. He can outrun the defensive backs. He's got quick vertical moves. The whole package.
6 foot, 210 pounds. Add the pads in there, and he's probably got a couple more pounds on top of that, as we did have a flag come down after the play with the teams jostling with one another. It's against Bentley. And this is going to move the ball 15 yards or half the distance because you were inside the 20. So this is going to come just inside the 10-yard line and an automatic first down to boot. And New Haven is in business. First and goal to go just inside the 10.
Now if they have play action, and look for the tight end running a corner route or over the middle.
And New Haven just can't stop false starting. It's the only thing that they've struggled with offensively in this game. The offensive line has been great. They've given great pass protection to Menard. The run game's been good. They've made the catches they've needed to make, but they keep jumping.
They're running between the tackles, and the inability of Bentley to either make the play there or get pressure on Menard, that has been the difference in this game.
So it's still first and goal, but now from the 14. Menard. Laney. Found another little gap. There's not much, but you can see they're finding the gaps. Not complicating things at all, but just making the running back the read. And he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, the 9, so picks up 5, second and goal. Falcon fans again have been reduced to pretty much silence.
They're going to fake to him and roll out, I'm telling you.
Menard had it knocked down. Getting his big paws up there. Another play by the captain, Mark DiPlacido. DiPlacido, the senior from Hudson, making a strong play on the football. 3rd and goal. We saw New Haven go for it tighter than this on 4th down for the touchdown earlier in this quarter. Menard, Laney, dancing, stopped quickly. Schouten and Nunez combined for the tackle. Field goal unit comes on. So Bentley's defense does its job. And now another special teams play. We've seen Campbell have a field goal blocked. This is the first time Hamill will attempt one. It's going to be a short one, 25 yards from the left-footed kicker to make this a 2-possession game. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is miles through and good. 31-21, and someone's going to have to go get that football. Exactly 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. New Haven trying to win their 6th straight in this rivalry. Bentley has not won since September the 27th, 2019. Here it was a 31-14 decision, and a lot has happened in the world since 2019.
I haven't marked it down, but I'm just wondering how many over 20-yard runs New Haven has in this game. It may be 4 or 5. So.
Too many if you're a Falcon, and certainly if you're defensive coordinator Miles Allis and defensive line coach Osho Omayeni, as his defensive line has been handled by the offensive line led by Adrian Brenori for New Haven, and Ricky Ganim as well, assistant offensive line coach. It's a big staff for New Haven, 15 coaches listed on the roster. But they're back up by 2 scores. It's a 10-point game. This one could be returnable for Bradford. Fields it inside the 5. Bradford to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. There he goes to the 25-30, to the 35, and he's going to be dragged out of bounds just past the 40, and they're going to get 15 more yards on top of it. Inside again with fireworks.
There is no such thing as an angle on him if you're trying to tackle him. He has Division I speed.
So Bentley, after a return that was approaching 40 yards, is going to get another 15. So this is going to be close to about 45 net yards, or 55 I should say, because I can do math, I promise you, on the return. Ball will be spotted, looks like at the 41 maybe? They're putting it at the 49. That's not 15 yards from the end of that run. Now they've got it. And it should come to the 40-yard line because it was the 45, 15 yards from there. That's math for you. And it's 40 yards to go for Bentley. You got to take advantage of this. A great return plus the penalty. Outstanding field position. It's Osborne in as the quarterback, and he takes it himself for 6-7 yards. First time today we see Billy Osborne, the junior from Marlton, New Jersey, and he runs a nice quarterback draw. Pulls it back, rolls to the right, and picks up. I'll only give him 5, but it's still a good play. We saw Osborne for 1 drive last week. It was the second drive of the game. He completed 1 pass. So Pullman, helmet on, just below us, watching Osborne take this drive, at least for now. Play clock down to 10. Osborne in the gun. Holmes to his right. Stacked receivers. Now Bradford moves across the formation. Osborne hands to Holmes, trying to move forward. That's a great play by Vinny Holmes. He was being dragged down the entire time by Devon Colon, and he just dragged him for first down yardage. That could have been 3rd and 5. Instead, it's 1st and 10. Holmes doing it himself. 100 seconds to go in this 3rd quarter. New Haven all 10 points in the frame, but Bentley, 1st and 10 from the New Haven 30. Osborne in between two backs. Goes for the pass, and Barroway can't haul it in. It was a tough one to corral, but he'll still want that one, and he was going to get close to first down yardage if he did. And Osborne's coming out, Pullman back in. Barroway also returning to the sideline, replaced by Jack Ford on this near side receiver. Second and 10. Ford and Bradford left. Marciano to the right with Damon tight to the formation, the tight end, Holmes the tailback. Pullman under pressure. Damon took a shot, and it's picked off by Jai Jenkins. Another interception for number 8 in gold after the deflection. Jenkins, his second interception in the last couple of weeks. New Haven ball.
They're pleading for pass interference, but they're not going to get it.
Another bang play, and usually if it's that tight, it'd be harsh to go against the defense in a sport that continues to sway toward the offense in just about everything. But once again, it's Jenkins who is there to field the popped-up football. Minute 20 to go in the third, 10-point lead. Touchdown would give the Chargers their biggest lead of the contest. Menard. And another run for big yardage. Ace, look at him go. You just can't bring him down with just one player. Initial contact close to the 40, and he drags him for another 10 yards almost to midfield. They'll spot it at the 48.
It's been a little while since the Bentley defense gave up 200 yards on the ground.
And it's the way, as you've been saying all night or all day, Dick, the fact that it's nothing fancy. It's over the guards, just through the big gaps that are being created by this O-line.
I have been watching. The best offensive lineman on the field is the center for New Haven. He is excellent.
Prudhomme, the center, as again, you see a run for Ace. Still going, trying to drag him out of bounds is Rennie Nunez. He'll do that. And then Nunez is down as he fell awkwardly. You see the signal to the training staff from DiPlacido as Nunez hobbles to his feet. But Ace, we've called him a freight train, and there's really no other word to describe it. He just keeps going, and he's just impossible to bring down.
He has gotten through the line of scrimmage untouched at least 7 or 8 times in this game.
New Haven will walk off to their side of the field. No need to run another play. They score all 10 points in the third quarter, and they will have a chance to start the fourth quarter to get more points on the board. Falcons really need to limit them to a field goal attempt to keep it to within 2 possessions, a touchdown, and this would be a 3-possession game, assuming the extra point converted after that. So a long march to the far side of the field, and Bentley's defense that has been carved up on their defensive line by this Chargers front. Rare air that we are seeing today. Bentley, normally a team that no matter what the team they're playing, no matter what the matchup, you give the edge typically to their defensive line and linebackers. Not today. Against this front, led by Matthew Prudhomme in the middle, the senior from Orlando, who Dick said has just been impressive to watch. Surround that with the 2 guards that are carving open holes left and right, John Thomas and Jordan Griffin, and then Cesare and Brown, the right and left tackles. They have done their job time and time again, and even if it hasn't been a hole for their offense to run through, Menard has been undisturbed in just about every single scenario tonight.
Yeah, it really is the perfect storm for New Haven. You can't seem to get to the quarterback when they're passing, and they are. This is just basic football. They're handing the ball off, and it's not even zone blocking. It's like man-to-man, straight ahead.
But we do know that Bentley is one to make big plays deep in their own territory. They'll force fumbles, they'll pick off passes, they'll make stops when they need to, and they need to here. It'll be 2nd down and 5. You can get a first down at about the 2-yard line if you're New Haven.
And they got a great, New Haven got a tremendous down blocking. That was Duchemin, who's outweighed by 50 pounds by this guy. Having to take him down right below his ankles. Oh, my.
Tripp's receiver is left, none to the right. Ace in the backfield, gets the handoff. Ace dragged down. I think somebody lost a helmet. Did the ball pop loose? They're going to say down by contact, I believe. The initial reaction is down by contact from everyone on the field except for Mackay Dunton, who's trying to sell it. But it is 3rd down as Jefferson makes the play. A.J. Norton Jefferson, the captain number 95 on this defensive line. And the biggest defensive play of the day for Bentley. Can you get a 3rd down stop and force a potential field goal, which would keep it a 2-possession game? Officials are still talking this over. Call on the field, my impression was that down by contact. They can only talk this over. There is no instant replay that they can confer. So this has got to be pretty much a unanimous decision by the officiating crew. What is the referee going to make in terms of a determination here? And it is down by contact. Saj Thakar upset, but that was the original call, and it was certainly a ball that came out very late. I have to imagine that it was down by contact. Not the same level of contentiousness as the end of the Virginia Tech-Miami game last night in the wee hours of the morning. Denard, 5 yards to go. Looking for a man. Has a man. Caught. Touchdown. And then Bentley is not going to get flagged, but it's just as dangerous a play. They go to the tight end, and there's the flag after the play. But the most important thing is that it's a touchdown. And that will make it a 3-possession game. The touchdown pass to Evan Chieka, the tight end. 16 unanswered in this second half for New Haven. Flag on top of that. They're going to talk this over with head coach Chris Pinsence. Likely to enforce this on the ensuing kickoff, you'd imagine. And that will be the case. So the extra point incoming to make this a 17-point game. Can Bentley wreak some havoc? Their only chance of preventing a 3-score game is to block this field goal attempt, or extra point attempt, I should say. New Haven does what they always do, line everybody up on the left, then shift everybody back to the right. Make it difficult for Bentley to line things up. Hamill waits for it and boots it through. 17 points is the differential. Still 14 minutes to play. But this crowd has been silenced.
Well, if you rush for 200 yards and your special teams make some big plays, you're going to be hard to beat. And they have, the only mistake they made was the fumble on the 3 or 4 yard line in the first half. Other than that, they have run, you hate to say it, they have run over the Bentley defensive front seven.
Again, the only loss this season for New Haven was to a nationally ranked Slippery Rock team on the road, 22-7. Slippery Rock at the time ranked number 11. After this, New Haven will return home, get an AIC team that again fell 84-7 today to Ferris State. So AIC is going to be hurting coming into that one. The 15 yards enforced on the kickoff, so this should allow Hamill to blast one through the end zone with relative ease. Bentley, meanwhile, they will be at pace in Pleasantville next weekend at noon. Saturday kickoff once again. Then they'll go to Assumption. It'll be 3 weeks before they return home, and they will also get the Yellow Jackets in their next home date on October the 19th. But they have 14 minutes to make a comeback. Hamill sends this one through the uprights. So out to the 25, and the Falcons really needing points on every drive. They got deep into New Haven territory at the tail end of the third quarter, but the biggest play of the game, a good defensive play, jarring the ball into the air, and Jai Jenkins, number 8, you see him deep into the secondary playing that safety spot. He's listed as the hero, which is basically the strong safety. Well, he was the hero on that play, and mere moments later, it's up to a 17-point game. Pullman to DeSias. Hauls it in. It's a first down and more. DeSias keeps on moving out to the 40. A pickup of 15 yards on first down, and that's how you want the drive to begin. First catch today for Isaiah DeSias. Senior out of Ozone Park, New York. They list him at 5'8", 180. Although I have to imagine Bradford is not taller than DeSias. Ford on the quick catch. Gets 5.5. Bentley moving the ball quickly as they approach the midfield line. Second down and 6. They gave him 4. Bear away into block. Bradford was there. Stuck out the right hand, but couldn't haul it in between 2 deep safeties, Dante Kiet and the aforementioned Jai Jenkins.
Well, I think you really have to look at the fact, I mean, you hate to say it, but you want to use Rashawn Bradford as a decoy. You run him down the field, you know the cornerback and safety are going to go with him. If you can run somebody underneath him, they'll be wide open.
Pullman. Again, pressure coming, and he's going down. Wilson Frederick sacks him deep in the backfield. 6'1", 280 from just north of Boston and Everett. And now it's 3rd and a mile. Make it 4th and a mile. That was the 3rd down play, excuse me. So Richardson, they have to punt. The big play, the missed completion between Pullman and Bradford, his favorite target, but Kitt and Jenkins were there to interrupt it. Richardson spirals one. Fair catch called and made at the 30 by Schmidt. And once again, Bentley's defense must stop New Haven, and they got to do it quickly. It's a 3-score game. If New Haven can put together a long drive here, score or not, that could wrap it up.
No, you're right. They need 3 and out. They need to get the ball back with at least 10 minutes to go in the game. And they have to get good field position, too. So 3 or 4 first downs wipes out about 4 or 5 minutes. And then even if they stop them and they punt, they'll have the ball inside their own 20.
This is when Bentley needs to force chaos on the defensive side. See if they can knock a fumble loose potentially. Once again, it's a hole for the running back to run through, and it's Laney showing that shiftiness. Again, Ace is the freight train. Laney is the speedster. And he gets to the outside, throws the little juke move, stutter steps, gets to the boundary, and gets all the way to midfield.
He did put he had made about 4 yards, and he had to put on a great move inside and broke to the outside. Boy, to have 2 running backs like that on a Division II football team.
And Ace is going to get a lot of the attention, and understandably so, but Laney has been in for some big plays, and he has been just as effective in just a different way. But again, breaking open for a big gain on first down. Laney again, nothing there. Bentley still has their full complement of timeouts. They're not going to use it on this drive unless they have no other choice. But the Bentley defense needs to halt the Chargers here. Again, the last time these teams have played, the last 3 times it's been a one-score game. And this was a tie game, 21-21 at halftime. But it has been all Chargers, 17 unanswered in this second half so far for the visitors, coming up 95 and then on the Mass Pike. I should say I-84. I am from Connecticut after all.
You have to take your hat off to the New Haven offensive line.
It's been impressive. It's been really impressive. And I'm like you. I love just watching good offensive line play. Maybe it's because most of my teams have never had it. But it's really fun to watch when you do.
Pass blocking, run blocking, they have been the complete package today.
But it's 3rd and 9, and the Falcons need to force a stop. Menard to Ace. Ace is going to still stretch, but he's going to be well short. 4th and about 5. And if you're New Haven, if you leave this offense out there, I will be stunned, because you can put Bentley in the grave deep inside their own territory, but Menard is out there. They could be going hard count. A false start. Oh, Bentley almost jumped, and it almost worked. Got very close to what would have been an offside. Still 10 seconds on the play clock. Menard waits. Hard count continues. And New Haven's going to call for time. It almost worked. But Bentley just stays disciplined enough to not jump offside. And now the punting unit will come out after New Haven takes its first time out of the second half. Your heart jumped into your throat if you were the D-line coach for Bentley as you saw the man stand up for the slimmest of moments. Zach Goodwin almost jumped. Getting the report from Kyle Mack, our stat man extraordinaire. 335 yards on the ground for New Haven. That's not a typo.
I can guarantee you, as someone who played and coached against Bentley, nobody has rushed for 335 yards against Bentley in the last 20 years.
Well, we honored Peter Yetton last week, the old school of the old school for Bentley, the longtime head coach. And this is a team that has ridden its defensive line and linebackers these last couple of years to tremendous success, but not tonight. Got to get the punt away. They do. Hang time. Dushman makes the catch at the 10, and Bentley's going to have 90 yards, and they are running out of any opportunity if they get an empty possession. They got to score not once, twice, but 3 times and get stops to boot, and they got to battle the clock. They do have their full complement of timeouts. You're not going to get a better crowd and a better day than this, but they have been kept quiet in this second half as New Haven has shut them down on both sides of the football. 17-0 the score after the intermission. Pullman with 3 receivers to the right, including DeSias in the middle and Bradford on the slot. They're looking for Bradford. He's got a step, but it's underthrown. Pullman had Bradford, and it's been just that kind of day and that kind of half for Bentley's offense where they get the step to the speedy Bradford, and it's just not there.
If you want to move the ball down the field, you're going to have to use Bradford as a decoy.
Had DeSias and Bradford running that pattern over the middle, and Pullman just undershot him by the slightest bit, but it was enough. Pullman gets hit, trying to get out to Marciano. Throws it incomplete, out of bounds into the Bentley sideline, and 3rd and 10. And you look at the clock, 8:48. You'd say it's 4-down territory, but from here, you might have to punt.
Oh, no, you'll have to punt.
You're between a rock and a hard place if you don't pick this first down up because of the where you are located after that punt from Hamill. Damon joins the trips receiver combo to the right, including Bradford and Marciano. They pick out the man. It's Marciano. Marciano still going. Flag down. He picked up first down yardage. That is the biggest first down of the day for Bentley if it doesn't come back. And it's not going to. This is going to be against New Haven. Marciano, again involved, gets a huge catch and pickup, plus the penalty. Believe they got Trell Best for it.
You always want to tell your players 15-yard penalties. You know how hard it is to get 15 yards on a play? And you just gave it to them for free.
Pullman in an empty backfield. Marciano again over the middle. Oh, it's knocked loose, and that's a fumble that New Haven is going to recover. No doubt about it. He caught it, made a football move, and then it was knocked loose, and New Haven making the big plays again. Turnover to the Chargers just on their side of midfield, and that could be the biggest and the endest. That's not a word. That could be the nail in the coffin. It was a great play, and Marciano just had it knocked loose. That is a backbreaker. And you have to imagine New Haven going to stick to the ground game as much as they can. Ace over the middle. Look at him go. Just puts a fist or puts a big open hand into the face mask, doesn't grab on, and then just keeps on chugging. Gain of 7 on first down. There is a flag. Officials conferring on the 45-yard line. Clock halted at 8:07. It's going to be the second straight week, unless things change drastically, where Bentley played much better football in the first half than the second half. They were dominant against Southern Connecticut, but then things stalled a little bit. It's a personal foul, face mask penalty against Bentley, but it's also a face mask against New Haven. So maybe they say there was a grasp of the face mask. Ace was rumbling forward, but they're going to call offsetting face mask penalties, and we just redo the down. So 8:07 to play. New Haven looking to improve to 3-1 and 2-0 to start NE10 play. Looking to be the first team to reach that mark with Pace idle this weekend, and we will check the St. A's Southern Connecticut score. Owls were up by 4 early in the fourth. Wrapped up in the backfield, Shibamba. He's made a couple big plays today, trying to rouse up the crowd. And Hervé forces they're not giving him a loss, I don't think. Maybe it's a 1-yard loss, 2nd and 11. Again, Bentley in last-ditch defense mode. Must force the stop, 3 and out.
I don't know if I would be celebrating a no gain on this team. Not if they've rushed for 300 yards.
And the ball loose. If there's been 2 things that New Haven hasn't been perfect today for the most part, they've committed a bunch of false start penalties And that's the third loose snap. They fumbled the one deep in Bentley territory. There was one that was low, picked up with one hand by Menard, and he still had the wherewithal to get it to Schmidt. That one he just had to fall on. That is a big loss. 3rd and forever. Bentley's got to get this. Do they try and bring some pressure?
Now they're going to run.
No pressure needed. Ace nearly broke away again. He's still 4 yards short, but even that was too nervy if you're a Falcon fan. And I think, again, we're going to have New Haven go hard count. They almost got Bentley to jump offside in the previous drive. Bentley ultimately stayed disciplined, but if Bentley were to jump, it would be an automatic first down. New Haven has 2 timeouts left. Menard giving the hard count. Bentley staying home. Down to 5 on the play clock, and the second timeout will be burned by the Chargers. So 1 timeout left for New Haven. Bentley does have all 3. So that's going to be 2 drives in a row where Bentley's defense does what it needs to do. But barring a misplayed punt or a blocked punt, Bentley is going to have a lot of field to cover. 3 scores down with about 5.5 to do it.
Offensive line, great running backs, and the inability to get to the quarterback when he's passing the football. If you're 0 for 3, if you're being dominated, if their offensive line is dominating your defensive line, that's usually a recipe for failure. But you've got to be able. And I haven't seen a better running back than Ice in a long time. He is, and the backup running back is outstanding.
They have done it the old-fashioned way with runs up the middle, good offensive line play. The punter, Hamill, since he's come on in relief of Sylvia, he's been good. 1 back deep, and we're going to have a false start against New Haven. They should still be able to pin Bentley back deep, but they're going to be moved to the other side of midfield. So ball will be snapped from the Charger 49. Hamill back inside of his 35 at the 34. Matthew Piker to do the long snapping. Hamill gets it away in front of the charging back. Dushman makes the fair catch. And Bentley at around the 13 will again have the whole field to cover. Live stats down at the moment up in New Hampshire. So do not have a scoreboard update for you in that matchup between St. Anselm and Southern Connecticut, where at the start of the 4th quarter, it was the Owls up by 4 on the road. St. Anselm was trying to get to 2-0. The winner of this game would also be 2-0, heading into a Week 3 matchup next weekend in conference play. Pullman looks for the deep ball and throws it into the Charger bench. 2nd and 10, and things getting very desperate and feeling very desperate for Bentley offensively.
Well, the one receiver they got to have a shot at would be Pat Damon, their tight end. He would be the least likely.
He's in the slot right with Marciano on the outside, and this man Bradford on the inner side, and it's going to be over Bradford's head. If Bradford was about 6'8", he might have had that. Well, he's closer to 5'8", unfortunately. And 3rd down and 10. And the Falcon offense has stalled in the second half. The one time they got a drive, it produced a pick, and that is really the pivot of this game. New Haven had the lead, but Bentley, down by 10, had a chance to cut it back to within 3, or at the very least back within 7. And it's all gone downhill after the interception, and it continues to spiral as a flag will bring this ball all the way back to what looks to be about the Bentley 6, maybe the 7. They've got to get all the way to the 24 for a first down. So second and 17. Pullman getting out of the pocket, scrambling, swarmed, and taken down inbounds after a gain of about 7. But Bentley's going to have 3rd and long with the clock running, down by 3 scores. They move quickly. Trips receivers right, including Damon Bradford. They get their man. It's a first down pickup. Marciano again tries to hurdle one defender. Got over the top and then shoved mercilessly by Chris Campbell. Bentley does move the chains, and now they got to move.
That's the guy to hit. If Bradford clears out, you can run somebody underneath, and you'll have a shot to get him.
Marciano having a great day. They're going to need a lot more. Ford snags it at the 40, reverses field, picks up about another 3 or 4 yards, dragged down at the 44 for another Bentley first down. 4:20 to play. Falcons are going to need scores and maybe onside kicks. They do have 3 timeouts. They are trying to keep them in their pocket. Over the middle, Bradford is right there to haul it in. Jenkins delivers the hit, but not before Bentley gets inside the Charger 35 down to the 33. Bradford there again.
Nice throw.
Bentley has looked better when they've played faster. But a timeout is called. New Haven calls it, so they are out. That's the 3rd timeout for the Chargers. They burned 2 going hard count. Bentley didn't fall for it either time, and then that's the 3rd and final for head coach Chris Pinsence. Saj Thakar still has all 3, and boy, is he going to need them. We've seen crazy things in this game. We nearly saw 3 touchdowns in the span of 45 seconds. So this isn't over, but Bentley's going to need a lot to go their way, and they're going to need at least 7 quick ones here. They could go for a field goal at some point to make it a 2-possession game, and then I'm not sure what the onside kick prowess is of Mason Campbell, but we may need to see it.
Well, they need to score before 3 minutes.
There is still the 2-minute timeout as well, so Bentley effectively has 4 times they can stop the clock. Three receivers left, 2 right. He looks right. Looking for Marciano. He's got it. And he's hit out of bounds. Clock not stopped yet. Wonder why he didn't just step out of bounds, because he got hit inbounds, so that clock's going to run after they spot it. Marciano, every second precious when you're down by 3 scores. So clock moves down to 3:30 and ticking. 3 receivers left. Pullman looks to his right, finds Desaias, gets hit, but he's in. Touchdown, Falcons. Isaiah Desaias. And that's the best we've seen Pullman look all day. Moving quick, finding his receivers. Touchdown, Falcons. Took about 2 minutes off the clock with Campbell on to make it a 10-point game. And you don't need to go for the onside kick yet because you have all 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout. But first things first, Campbell drills it through. You never know how the game would change if things went one way or the other. But Bentley did have an opportunity to take the lead going into halftime, but Campbell's field goal was blocked. And that's the first time Bentley has scored since the first half. And instead of being maybe a 7-point game, all things being equal, you never know. But right now it is 10, so still 2 scores, but 3:22, a lot of time when you have all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout / warning.
They need to stop. They need to stop them here. Force a 3 and out. Use a timeout. And only use up about 20 seconds.
Well, if New Haven plays this right, you should not see the ball take to the air when you have Christopher Ace and Zayon Laney who have carved up Bentley on the ground today. They do a little bit of an onside kick, but it's well fielded. Hauled in by Dante Kitt, the defensive back, the transfer from Monmouth. Goes from being a Hawk to being a Charger.
Now, I wonder why you would not kick that down there. If you stop them and use every one of your timeouts, you might get them to punt with 3 minutes to go.
And you could see the thought. They were trying to drill it off of a New Haven player, maybe have it bounce friendly toward the Falcons, but it does not work out that way. Kitt recovers. Bentley is going to be forced to use their timeouts, you'd imagine, on this drive. Ace up the middle for 1, maybe 2. Falcons call the timeout there first. Saj Thakar right there to signal for it. 2 left. So if Bentley can make 2 more stops, burn their final 2 timeouts, they will get the football with about 3 minutes to go. The only clock stoppage left would be the 2-minute timeout, and they need to score, get the onside kick, and score again. If it sounds like a lot, it's because it is, but that's the situation the Falcons find themselves in.
They need, as I said, they need to stop them right here. Use both their timeouts. It's just that if they stop them on the 20 or kick the ball into the, and then get field position, now if they stop them and they punt, they're going to have the ball inside their own 20.
Falcons, in theory, really do need to score before that 2-minute timeout, so they get a free timeout. Laney running to the right. Still going. He breaks free back into the inside. And Laney all the way to the house. Zayon Laney, from all those bodies, moving to his right, changes direction to his left, and says, Christopher Ace, you broke for a big one. My turn. Touchdown Chargers. From 50 yards, Laney to the house. 44-28. One more still to come on the PAT. We have not seen Bentley's defense suffer like this in a while.
Nobody has ever rushed for 400 yards against Bentley. No one. No one.
It has been a clinic in offensive line play and in complementary running back play. Ace, the power. Laney, the shiftiness and speed. And if that doesn't show shiftiness, I don't know what does. Into the fray and out the other side, somehow without being tackled. He was hit a good 3 or 4 yards shy of the first down marker and then disappeared and then reappeared again, only to trundle another 40 yards in for the score. And that should just about do it.
It looked like a rugby scrum. He came out of it. And both the backs for New Haven have done that into the line of scrimmage, and all of a sudden they appear, or they're untouched. As I said,
That will bring them to 393 yards on the ground. 393. And this is a Bentley team that is very good on their defensive line, linebackers, secondary, all three levels. They are an outstanding football team, and they have been destroyed by the Chargers today, and there's no other word for it. It's been tough to watch if you're a Falcon defensive coach. Bradford out from his goal line. Gets wrapped up before he can even get to the 15. He needed to make something happen, and there was nothing there to make. 2:58 to go. Bentley actually still has 2 timeouts because they never had to use timeouts 2 or 3 due to the Laney scramble for a score.
In fact, rushing for 393 yards is almost impossible.
It should be. It really should be. It's just, you just never imagined that Bentley would be manhandled like this in the run game.
They must have 10 runs over 20 yards.
Well, they have 2 over 40 for touchdowns, 1 by each running back. Pullman lost the football, had it poked out. Diving back on top of it was Brendan Dowling, the O-lineman. 3rd down and 10. But this a rematch of last year's NE10 championship. And there's still a lot of games to go. A lot of things can happen in a season. As that one grabbed by Bradford, and he may go again. Bradford for his 3rd touchdown of the day. Rashawn Bradford. The offense hasn't had too many problems, in large part due to that young man. Rashawn Bradford with a hat trick of touchdowns.
How many yards has Mr. Bradford run?
He's got to be at about 150, 160 yards. He was at 99 at halftime, so he's got to be close to 200.
We have seen some great individual performances on both sides today.
Campbell to bring this back to 10 again. Then Bentley will need to go for the onside kick, you'd think. They went for it the last time. You're going to do it again. Bentley does have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout as well. So this is going to be a long and interesting 2 minutes left. If anything, that makes it more frustrating. If New Haven does ultimately end up victorious, to think you put up 35 points, your offense was good. If your defense was average today or played to its average, and we know it can play well above that, it would be very different, as Bradford is now clocked in at 197 yards through the air, and Bentley still trails by 10. Well, not that there was a line that Vegas gave us for this game, but I would have taken the under, and I would have been very wrong, because I expected 2 hard-nosed defenses. Remember, last year when these teams met here was 14-13. Neither quarterback could complete a pass for their lives. Today, they've still stuck to the ground game for the most part, but it's been incredible what New Haven's been able to do on the ground. That one bounces up. It's close. That was well played by Bentley. That's about as close as you're going to get. It is going to be a false start. And now we have some pushing and shoving as Chima Opara got stuck in the Bentley sideline and was saying things, and pushing and shoving ensued. The flags are due to the false start, not the extracurriculars. But it will be 1st down for New Haven. Now the clock is running. It should not be. So the officials are going to have to bring this back. We haven't actually reached the 2-minute timeout yet. So this is going to be at about 2:05. Officials will have to sort that out, but it should be at about 2:05. Nobody touched the football. So we're going to still have 2 Bentley timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout momentarily. They will need to run one play before the 2-minute timeout. One more first down would be enough for New Haven to assume victory formation. See the false start whistled against Bentley. That's declined as the ball went out of bounds, so it'll be taken at the Falcon 49. And so there's going to be one play that needs to be run. Ace and Laney have been on another level today in running the football. Where is this football going? Looks like they're going to say it was marked out at the 41. And so that's where New Haven will start their drive. 2:06 to play. Fourth quarter, 10-point lead for the Chargers and the football. Mason Stauff alongside Dick Ewell in what has been another kooky game in Waltham. Just how we like it. Handoff. Ace up the gut. And to the 2-minute timeout we go. Ace with a pickup of 4. Second down and 6 when we resume with 1:59 to go. Again, Bentley will be on the road for the next 2 weekends. Down to Pleasantville, New York, just outside of New York City in Westchester County to take on the Setters of Pace, who are off this weekend. So they've had 2 weeks to prepare for Bentley, and I'm sure are watching this one intently. Then they will travel down I-90 to take on the Assumption Greyhounds in what is always a fun matchup. Both those games 12 o'clock kickoffs, and you won't see the Falcons here at Peter Yetten Field for 3 weeks, when Dick and I will be back on October the 19th at a 1 o'clock kickoff against the Yellow Jackets of AIC, who are going to be licking their wounds for a while after getting thumped by Ferris State today, 84-7.
I do not think the running backs for New Haven have moved the pile forward every time. I don't think they've been knocked back once.
Well, there's only been 1 sack of quarterback Dalen Menard today. That was Isaiah Gomes. Other than that, he has been well protected as Ace takes the handoff, gets it across the 30, and Bentley, they do have 2 timeouts, and they will start to use them, but that will do it. By the time Bentley could get the football back, there is not time for 2 drives. And so the clock is running. Bentley elects not to use a timeout here. They only have 2, so they will let New Haven run the first down play. And that, with that run, makes it 405 yards on the ground. And the victory formation is taken. Menard takes a knee. Now the only question, as Bentley calls timeouts, is will the taking of the knee bring them back under 400? Bentley calls timeout, minute 23 left. They'll take it after the second down play. The third down will take them to about 40 seconds. Bentley's only remaining chance, they'll probably get this ball back with about 35 or so seconds and down by 2 scores.
And Mason, I think 400 yards.
405 before that kneel down.
I would say that 350 yards was between the guards.
It was all the same basic run. But as we said, if it's not broken, don't fix it, because when it's that easy to run off guard. Why stop it?
I can't remember anyone running for 400 yards between the tackles.
Not against this team. This is a good Bentley football team. Do not in any way get distracted by that. What the Chargers have done today has been even more impressive because of who they did it against.
I would.
Bentley calls the timeout after the short pickup on 2nd down, 3rd down and 9.
In fact, 2 or 3 of the outside running plays were stopped by Bentley. They have handed the ball off, and the center, 2 guards, and the 2 tackles. That's the best offensive, and that's against a good Bentley defensive front 4.
I just don't know. You look at this schedule, and again, this is the toughest game on paper remaining for New Haven. They do have tough road games. Southern Connecticut, never an easy place to go, and obviously that's the local rivalry of West Haven and New Haven. Got to go to Assumption and to St. Anselm. So the road games are tough, but the first big test passed in flying colors for New Haven as the clock will run. That'll bring up 4th down, clock to about 65 seconds. You don't see any obstacles really on the home schedule for New Haven. AIC, Post, and Pace. They've already beaten Pace by 30, and Post and AIC should not put up a major fight. But it's football, it's the NE10, you never know. But New Haven can look at their schedule and smile as they look to go for another NE10 title. Play clock down to 5. They have the offense out there. They will just take the delay of game. Ball will move back 5 yards and give a little bit more space to punt for Josh Hamill. 30 seconds left in this one. It's been a great football game. Bentley puts up 35 points. You expect them to win just about every single week. Not today.
Well, if you were the New Haven coaching staff, if you rushed for 400 yards and lost, you'd be in the parking lot drinking the poison.
Well, Bradford is on the cusp of 200 yards receiving, but 400 yards rushing for New Haven has trumped it. Ace, 238 yards himself, 184 for Laney, and then Menard minus 17. But the 2 main running backs, you total up their net yards, that is over 420 yards between the 2 running backs. Then you subtract 17 for the quarterback. That's it. That's the difference. And I think that will bring them back underneath 400 because they just danced around and took it back. So we'll see what the final tally is after it all, but it does not take away from what a crazy day it's been on the turf for New Haven. So Bentley with 23 seconds. Pullman steps up and overcooks it. Marciano was the target, and very nearly another interception, this one by Campbell. 18 seconds left. Second down and 10.
Because I think that, it completely overshadowed. The Bentley offensive line has actually had a pretty good
They have.
day.
Only a couple of sacks for Pullman. It is 407 net yards right now for New Haven. So that should be the final tally as Pullman hoists it up out of bounds close to the sideline. 3rd and 10 with 12 seconds. 407 to 65 is the differential on the ground. In the air, Bentley's been fine. Bentley has actually only been outgained by 17 total yards. 539 to 522.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
So it's a game that's had over 1,000 yards in it.
My.
Pullman steps up, throws downfield. Marciano, it was behind him and in and out of the chest of the D-back, Dante Kitt. Pullman has thrown for 457 yards today. It hasn't been on him. Bradford has 197 of them, Marciano 93, Oriaki 55, and 40 of those were on one play. Ford has 50.
No, this morning when I was in my home office, I was taking a look. I said, I would take the Bentley receivers any day.
And they've been the better. They have been the better receivers, but it's been the running back night or the running back day from down under. If you're Bentley, as there will be one more snap of the football as Bentley turns it over on downs, and New Haven's going to win this one by a final score of 45-35. But Christopher Ace, 238 yards. Zayon Laney, 186 yards. There's only one offensive player of the week in the conference. Can you have two?
He put on one of the better running, and he picked up 200 yards between the tackles. 200 yards in rushing between the tackles. That is hard to do.
So
that's why I said it reminded me of John Riggins with the Redskins.
New Haven's going to average 8.1 yards per carry. 50 rushes for 407 yards. One final knee is taken, and the defending champs continue their defense. They improve to 2-0 in NE10 play this season. They've defeated Bentley for the 6th consecutive time. And despite over 450 yards in the air from Pullman and nearly 200 yards receiving by Rashawn Bradford, the story today, the rush game for New Haven, 405 yards on the ground, 200 plus for Ace, 180 for his, I say in big quotes, backup Zayon Laney. The two of them put on a show to end all running shows, and New Haven wins it by 10. It's another crazy game, Dick. We can't have anything other than crazy games, can we?
Well, it's funny. Football is a basic game, and the basic game is if you control the line of scrimmage, the MVP of this game is the offensive line for the University of New Haven. If you're running between the guards and you run for 400 yards, and I think there might have been one or two. I don't even know if did the quarterback run out of the pocket ever?
No, he never had to.
So you're talking about the running backs for them picking the 400 yards between the tackles. The offensive line for the University of New Haven, that's as good a performance as I've ever seen against a good football team. They were not playing the Sisters of the Poor here. We're talking about unbelievable, and it is astonishing to see, and it was accentuated by the fact that both the running backs made unbelievable amounts of yardage after the first contact. They came out. In fact, on the last run, he came out of a complete pile of people, and ran 40 yards for a touchdown. I don't remember in all my years anybody rushing for 400 yards.
But that is the way of things today. So under a beautiful New England sky, it's the team from West Haven, Connecticut that comes out on top on the road today in Waltham as New Haven wins it by a final score of 45-35. New Haven returns home next week. They will take on American International at 1 o'clock on the blue turf of Harry Delacamera Stadium. Bentley on the road for the next couple of weeks, at Pace next Saturday at noon. Then they'll be at Assumption before we'll be back here on October the 19th as they too will take on AIC in their next home game. That'll be a 1 o'clock kickoff right here at Peter Yetten Field. Want to thank everyone for tuning in on this gorgeous Saturday afternoon and our outstanding crew led by Kyle Mack to my right and Dick Yule, my broadcast partner, to my left. My name is Mason Stauff saying so long from west side of Boston. Your final score, New Haven 45, Bentley Falcons 35. You've been watching Falcon